if they commit a crime. We have people
Hey, it's working. Hey, everybody. So YouTube is up. I wasn't able to advertise the show coming up because it still wasn't showing me in advance what the link would be. But good to see so many of you here. So Trump is late, as per usual. Right now, they're just talking to the MyPillow guy on the RSBN. I don't know if there's any other feeds for the rally tonight. I don't know. I can definitely lose points on the dismount, probably. Not sure what that's in reference to. But I'm going to be coughing up a storm because I have been blowing leaves in the yard for the last 2 hours because that's the time of year. You know, dead middle of the summer, that's when the trees just drop all their leaves, right? That's why they call it summer. It's too hot. I have a lot of foliage. See? Foliage. Producer Jojo, if you can hear me. Oh, jumping off the counter. Producer Jojo, if you can hear me, if you could bring me like a cold water bottle or even my big tennis water thing. It should still have some cold water in it from this morning. That would be fantastic, and I would appreciate you very much. My counter dismount was impressive. This is last night. This is President Trump last night. We'll watch a little bit of this. This is him in Las Vegas. This is just a small room. It's not really a rally. It's more of a speech to raise money. But it's gone now from everywhere, but I was recording it last night. So we'll watch some of that. RSBN is not broadcasting the speech on YouTube tonight, so I'll be watching the feed separately. We won't be able to pause it and comment as much as we normally do because the Rumble feed is just not that advanced technically. So let's take a little look at what happened here last night. This is a former president of one term, Donald J. Trump. Or not. Okay, I guess we're done. Hello? Okay, I gave you speech. See? That's me doing it again. Here we go. Go!
Bunch of real.
Okay, well, that's why. I muted everything because of his stupid song there.
The winners, this Prime Minister will pay a
There we go. He was just talking while the song was going, and we're going to get a copyright strike. Anyway, I'm hoping Jojo shows up. You got to wear a mask doing the leaves. I did! I was wearing a mask.
Swift and steep price for the greatness he has taken from our planet.
What?
Thank you very much.
Hold
the
on.
Man who, for the entire world, the United States, divine ally, and for the greatness.
Yeah, he starts talking in the middle of the song.
He has taken from our planet.
What? I don't know.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for being here. We very much appreciate it.
I have no idea whom he's thanking for the greatness that he's taken from our planet. I have no idea. But anyway, that was last night. Let's keep going.
Together we are going to restore law and order in America. That's what this is about.
We're going to resaw Law and Order? What? Right? Very, very low energy last night. Small room, not a stadium.
Together we are going to restore law and order.
We're going to resaw Law and Order. You'll see.
In America. That's what this is about today. I especially want to thank the distinguished guests who participated in the panel today.
This was last night, yeah. We're still waiting on Trump and the rally today. He's not doing it. He's not there yet. I'm watching it on the other screen. If he comes on, if somebody sees him coming on, if you've got some sort of feed besides the, well, I mean, I'm watching RSBN right now, but if you have a feed and Trump shows up or the song starts playing or whatever, let me know. Well, don't do here. Do it on the chat room.
Former Nevada Attorney General, friend of mine, and your
just low energy. Wow. Was he even awake? It's a time change.
Next Senator Adam Laxalt. Adam.
And the oranges good. Hey, everybody. Producer JoJo coming by. That's her hand right there. All right. Thank you for that. Ah, wonderful water. Wait a second, this is vodka.
Clark County Sheriff and your next governor. This man is going to be a good governor. He's tough as hell. Joe Lombardo. And they're both doing very, very well in the polls.
I actually like doing it this way better, where I can pause. Should we just do that? It was just like a record the rally tonight and we'll watch it never.
I will say that. I like polls when they're right, when they're good. When they're bad, we don't talk about them. My friend, he's a friend, and he's an incredible
He's a friend? Your friend is a friend?
person, former ICE Director Tom Homan.
And is he your friend?
We could use a little of Tom on our border right now, I will tell you.
I am not being sponsored by this product, but on the Amazons there, that Senstar, this giant bottle, this thing will keep water cold for like 2 days. Solid. If I forget to take my water bottle out of the car and then go do something the next day, there's still ice inside. This is from this morning. You hear all that ice? It's cold. It's good.
There's never been anything like it. No third world country has ever had a border like we have right now. We went from the best border we've ever had to
I saw what you wrote, babe.
the worst border we've ever had. President of the Las Vegas Police Protective Association, Steve Grammis. Thank you.
They look like kindergartners. They're all sitting in their stools with their legs up on the little rails.
And Director of Corrections for the Las Vegas Police Protective Association, Myron Ham. Thank you very much. Thank you, Myron. Thank you.
Speaking of Myron Ham, Jojo, if you're listening right now, I am kind of hungry. I'm a mite peckish, and will you have any ham? That would be Oh, you put more water and ice in it? Look at Jojo for the win. Wow. Okay. Well, then I'm glad I'm not getting sponsored by that company, because apparently it's Jojo who's been secretly filling my water bottle all this time. That's amazing.
We're also pleased to be joined by so many incredible people, and we're going to go through them, and we'll go through them a little bit rather rapidly. There's a lot of you out there. There's an incredible group of talent. But a person who's doing really well, Republican nominee for Lieutenant Governor, Stavros, please. Stavros Anthony. Stavros, where is Stavros? Good.
Yeah, thanks for the link, Marcy. So that's the RSBN link. Their link is going to end in 9 minutes because they don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. It's like all the community standards things that I get violations for because I'm showing other people talking about it. RSBN's been suspended from YouTube multiple times. So now they're just like, we're just not even going to show the speech. Because people pay attention and then people report it as it's happening, and then YouTube reviews it or doesn't. It's just an algorithm. The same way they review my stuff, I'm sure. Yeah, they're just not going to do YouTube for the actual rally. Only the pre-rally stuff. But thank you.
I heard you're doing well, Stavros. Republican nominee for Secretary of State, Jim Marchant. Thank you, Jim. Republican nominee for Attorney General, Sigal Chattah. Thank you. Well, what a group. Republican nominee for Nevada, Treasurer, Michelle, where is she? Michelle.
Michelle, such a bad reader.
Michelle Fiore. Thank you.
Oh, Michelle Fiore. Okay.
Thank you, Michelle. You're leading in those polls, Michelle. Republican nominee for state.
So another product that I'm not sponsored by, this is a Red Hat Coffee Peanut Butter Oat Milk Latte. Fan-damn-tastic. And the best thing about this is I picked these up at Grocery Outlet. Guess how much? Somebody, Jojo, you can't play. Guess how much I got these. This is 11 ounces, 11 flounces, right there. And it's made from oat milk. And it's delicioso, as they would say in England if they spoke Spanish. Guess how much I paid for those?
State Controller Andy Matthews. Thank you. Republican nominee for Nevada's 4th Congressional District, who's doing very well, Sam Peters.
Ann Rick, $1.99. You're crazy, Ann. I wouldn't buy that for $1.99. This is probably $3.99. I'm guessing. They actually tell you on the receipt how much is. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it, but I know how much I paid.
Thank you.
25 cents? Marcy, I'm not made of money.
Republican nominee for Nevada's 1st Congressional District, Mark Robertson. A very non-controversial radio star. He's great. Every time I say something on that show, I get myself in trouble, but
99 cents Canadian, which is how much US, babe?
he is with us. He's a
50 cents, please.
fantastic guy, Wayne Allen Root. He's been my friend for a long
Money doesn't grow on trees, Stephanie. Leaves grow on trees. And around here, they just fall to the ground. And then I spend my entire life sweeping and picking and raking and raking those forests. And the blowing.
Kev.
So for those of you who don't know, grocery outlet is where groceries go to die. Or there's overstock, or they get a special deal and stuff like that. So if you have a grocery outlet near you, like Bidenflation hasn't even affected you at all, because Bidenflation is not a thing. But they do have amazing prices. Marcy's close. Marcy's the closest person so far at 10 for $1. Seriously. Peanut butter latte oat milk. 10 for $1.
Kevin Hall.
Oh, it's quiet.
Where's Kevin?
Right here.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
Kevin Hall.
Oh.
Pastor Darrell Scott, Alveda King, Ambassador Jeffrey Gunter, and two very good friends of mine, special
Stephanie, you just got more expensive.
people, Mr. and Mrs. Phil Ruffin. He owns this hotel.
Aldi is also a great place to shop in terms of the values as well. So Aldi has all the stuff you need. It's just, instead of being cornflakes, Kellogg's cornflakes, it's like Nature's Brand cornflakes. Sunrise granola bars, things like that.
Phil.
Hi, Shelley.
Great poker player. Don't play poker against Phil Ruffin.
Okay.
A lot of people have learned that lesson a long time ago. They came to me.
Yeah.
How smart a guy is he? He's very smart. Well, he's quiet. He doesn't like talking. I said, no, he's very smart.
Is that what they said?
And then
Did they say sir at all while they were saying this?
they ended up in a big poker match, and I said, how'd you do? Not well.
Uh-huh.
Phil walked away. Phil, you're a great friend, and
Yeah.
you've done a great job. And great partner right here in the state. On behalf of everyone here, let me express our everlasting respect and gratitude
Wow, what a great story.
for all of the law enforcement officers with us this evening.
Babe, you're close. 17 cents. 17 cents for this. So I bought 24 of them. I didn't even look at when they expire. They probably expired last month. I have no idea. Get this. 17 cents. And there's a cash refund of 10 cents. 7 cents for this puppy. I got to drive to Oregon and bring them all back. Expiration date. Oh, it's BPA free as well. Thank God. And, on top, expiration date. September 28th. I should go buy a lot more of these. They're going to be gone. That's the thing. If you see something grocery outlet and you like it, buy it all. Because the next guy's going to come in and buy it all. Especially when it's 17 cents. I bought some packets of dog food. You know those just single packets? They look like a salad dressing mix. They're, yay big. And you just rip open the top and you pour the dog food out. I bought dog food. I bought 5 things of dog food just to have. They were 17 cents a piece. Just less than $1. And if we have a dog come visit, or if we get a dog, or whatever happens dog related, I'm good. I got a package of dog food ready to go. Your dog hungry? There you go.
In the Republican Party, we proudly back the blue.
Oh, dog mother, it's delicioso. It really is.
Much different.
Did I know I liked it before you bought these? I think I bought one of these for 50 cents. I mean, I overpaid. I thought I was getting a deal at the time. 50 cents? For some Red Hat coffee could have been 99 cents. I don't know. It's a hot day because it's always a hot day here. And I was in Gross Out getting some other stuff, and I saw these for cold for 50 cents or 99 cents, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll try a little bit of that. I've already had a coffee today, I said to myself. But mid-afternoon, little pickup, little caffeine. It's not going to hurt anybody. And it was good. But then when I saw them for 17 cents, please.
From defund.
Why are you so loud suddenly? I'm sorry, guys. That hurt me more than it hurt you. Okay, go.
The police. And that will never, ever change. We're gathered tonight, the Blue, express our everlasting respect and gratitude for all of the law enforcement officers with us this evening. In the Republican Party, we proudly back the Blue. Much different from defund the police. And that will never, ever change. We're gathered tonight to discuss what we must do to stop the deadly wave of FLOTUSes and...
Yeah, we got to stop the deadly wave of FLOTUSes. All the FLOTUSes. Melania, Michelle, Dr. Jill, all the deadly wave of FLOTUSes coming through the... What?
The police. And that will never, ever change. We're gathered tonight to discuss what we must do to stop the deadly wave of FLOTUSes and chaos that has been sweeping across our land like we've never seen before.
Who's going to do something about all these first ladies? The rampages, the mass shootings that they're doing in the... What?
The rule of law has been collapsing before our very eyes under the weak on crime policies of the Biden administration, the Pelosi Schumer Congress, radical left Democrats at the state and local level, and frankly, everybody else. Because people are afraid to be strong and...
Wait, everybody has been... What did that sentence start with?
The rule of law has been collapsing before our very eyes under the weak on crime policies of the Biden administration, the Pelosi Schumer Congress.
Okay, so it's the weak on crime policies of everybody else. Guys, I want to just say right here, I am sorry for my weak on crime policies. Didn't even realize I had them. You should be sorry too. You all owe me and each other an apology. Can we just take a minute in the chat to just apologize to everybody else for our weak on crime policies?
Radical left Democrats at the state and local level, and frankly, everybody else.
Everybody.
Because
that's you.
People are afraid.
That's you, hardworking Americans.
To be strong and sharp and tough and smart, and are always striving to be politically correct. Civilization itself is right now under siege, and we can't be just politically correct. Last year, 16 U.S. cities set an all-time homicide record. Murders...
They did that in 2020, too.
Nationwide reached their highest rate in 25 years and are soaring to levels that we've never seen before. Carjackings are up 200% and even 300% in certain areas.
In certain areas, maybe, but no.
Democrat-run cities, people are leaving these cities.
Okay.
Their cars and what they're doing to their property is unbelievable. Their cars, as an example, are unlocked to prevent criminals from breaking the windows. Let's just unlock. We don't want the cars broken into.
I'll tell you whose car is not unlocked is producer JoJo. She won't let me leave it unlocked in the garage. And the best part about a fancy new electric car is that it beeps her phone every 10 minutes, letting her know that it's unlocked. That's a lot of fun. Even when she's on the tennis court, wearing her watch. She'll look at her watch as I get the point, because she's like looking at her watch and not the ball, which is good. That's why I leave the car unlocked. Smart.
They say...
Anyway, certain areas, yes, car theft is up slightly. It's actually not up that much. You know what's up is catalytic converter theft, and that's nationwide. And you know when that started? 2020, under Trump. Why? Because it's full of precious metals. That's why. So they steal the catalytic converters. In 2020, that was up 325% nationwide. Not just democratically run city. This is nation. It's an epidemic. It's an epidemic. And you know who's doing it? The deadly FLOTUSes.
Take my car, they say. They say, take my car. And
that's what everybody says. I'm going to leave my car unlocked so that you steal it and you don't break the windows. I'd rather you just take the whole car because I don't want to cut myself on glass.
Hopefully it'll be returned to me undamaged. How about that? Is that
why would they return
a good way to live?
But that sounds like what's happening. I know a lot of people. That's all we talk about. I was just out at the gross out the other day. Everybody in line was talking about like, oh, you didn't lock your car, did you? You left it open, the windows down, right, so that someone could drive. And I was like, no, I just put my keys on the hood, like right. You don't want to leave them on the hood because it'll go down the scratch. but you want to like lift up your wiper, just put your keys underneath there so that someone will steal it, and then I get it back, hopefully unharmed.
Organized mobs are pillaging small businesses. Chicago is a war zone. 10 people were killed, and this has been at the top of the headlines.
Yeah, the shooter, the Trump fan who's a shooter and just indiscriminately fired into the crowd and killed both the parents of a 3-year-old. I don't even want to get into that.
It's terrible, and at least 62 were badly wounded at the 4th of July celebration this week.
Right?
And even in swanky Beverly Hills, California.
Wait, what did you say about the headlines, though? Is that because of Biden now?
Are pillaging small businesses. Chicago is a war zone.
Yeah.
10 people were killed, and this is...
Yeah, Uvalde, Texas.
Has been at the top of the headlines. It's terrible, and at least 62 were badly wounded at the 4th of July celebration this week. And even in swanky Beverly Hills, California, armed criminals are stalking their victims' home to rob people at gunpoint as these same victims leave the trunks of their cars up so that people looking to steal their spare tires in the back won't damage.
I drive through Beverly Hills on a regular basis. I have never seen an open trunk for people to steal his spare tires. What the hell? That may be the most insane thing Trump has ever said. Jojo, you grew up in Beverly Hills. You know a ton of people in Beverly Hills. Is anybody you know talking? And this is not an insult. This is just a fact. JoJo spends her entire day talking to people on the phone. Are you, any of your Beverly Hills friends, are any of them just leaving their trunks up so that people will take their spare tires? No, JoJo says she can tell us it is not happening. Here's the thing about the people in Beverly Hills. None of them have cars that have spare tires. Any of the newer vehicles don't come with spare tires. Teslas do not... Actually, I don't know if Teslas have spare tires. I don't know. I was going on a rant there. But, yeah. Adam Random says, you must not have been in the swanky part of Beverly Hills. I was, actually. I was in the part of Beverly Hills where everybody has at least a tennis court or a pickleball court. And I played on a pickleball court at a lovely home there. Wonderful people. They're like, the tennis courts were busy, and so they said, come on over and use the pickleball court. Okay. Fantastic human beings. And when I got there, the trunk was up and I stole the spare tire. Don't tell anybody. Guys, do Teslas have spare tires? I would be surprised if they do. Yeah, because you get to fix a flat. Just the stuff in the... Plus, everybody has AAA and all the coverage by the cars and the warranties and stuff like that. Hardly anybody has a spare tire anymore.
The car...
I would imagine pickup trucks might.
Well, they're breaking into it. Can you believe it? They leave...
No, I can't believe it.
So that people looking to steal their spare tires in the back won't
How much is a spare tire worth?
Damage the car while they're breaking into it. Can you believe it? They leave their trunks open.
No, they do. They do not do that. Nobody does that. Thank you, Dog Mother. Teslas do not have a spare tire.
Is that any way to live? This is in Beverly...
It is not a way to live, and it is not a way that they live in Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills. Meanwhile, our border is in a
Deidre, how old is your car?
State of brutal and violent anarchy as people...
I got to record that whole thing, though.
California armed criminals are stalking their victims' home to rob people at gunpoint as these same victims leave the trunks of their cars up so that people looking to steal their spare tires in the back won't damage the car while they're breaking into it. Can you believe it? They leave their trunks open. Is that any way to live? This is in Beverly Hills. Meanwhile, our border is in a state of brutal and violent.
That's absolutely not happening.
Violent.
Granted, I haven't driven every street in Beverly Hills every day. Maybe they do it at night. Jojo, tonight let's head over to Beverly Hills and look for open trunks. That could be my new business. Folks, instead of sending me money on the Cash App or through PayPal or through Venmo, I need you just to go to Beverly Hills and get me some spare time. Where's the market for that?
anarchy as people talk.
At random says we could only see the top of you, but didn't look like you had a spare tire last night. Oh, spare tire. I got a spare tire right now. Anyway, thanks a lot, Biden.
Totally unvetted and unchecked flow into our country by the millions. To put it simply, we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We've never...
Oh, thank you. I'm impressed that he expressed something another way when he repeated it.
Had anything like what's going on right now. Our country has been knocked to its knees, humiliated before the world, yet we presume to lecture other people in other countries on their democracies.
He's never read this.
All the while, the streets are flowing with the blood of innocent crime victims as we lecture others.
The streets are flowing? I hope that's not what it said.
We will not have a country.
I love low energy Trump because he just does not have any more fucks to give. Just whatever words pop up for him on the thing. It doesn't matter whether those words are there or not. And the crowd is not going nuts and they're not chanting. He hates it.
Left, if this growing barbarism is not quickly reversed and stopped, the wave of lawbreaking must be immediately ended. And we must really get this crime wave ended immediately.
Oh, yeah? We should be ended? And it should be ended. And then, you know what we're going to do? We're going to end it. We need to end it, though. And then it'll be done.
If we are going to make America great again, our first task is to make...
Bay Area car break-ins are on the rise, prompting some auto owners to leave their trunks open. No! That's not... Okay. Maybe they're leaving them slightly ajar? Can a trunk be ajar? Is it a gape? What is a trunk? Stephanie says, Bay Area, December 21, that people were leaving their car trunks open to deter thieves from breaking their windows. I don't know that this is happening in Beverly Hills. San Francisco and Oakland. Oh, my Lord. No, okay, well, let's look it up. Let's fact check it right now. Okay, here we go. Hold on, because I've got to get that window up. Okay, here we go. Okay, Beverly Hills. Hills. People leaving trunks open. Theft. Spare tires. Okay. People in California. This is from December. Leaving their leaving their trunks open. That is, we value your privacy. Fine. Whatever. Agree. It's California. It's not Beverly Hills. So that's the first result. Let's see if there's Beverly Hills. Must contain Beverly. I'm going to put in here. I started it with Beverly Hills, so it would prioritize Beverly Hills. Let's make sure that Beverly Hills is in there. And no, there's absolutely no articles about Beverly Hills. So maybe in the Bay Area that's happening, but certainly not in Beverly Hills.
America safe.
San Francisco's a terrible place anyway. It smells like pee. I'm sorry, San Francisco. It's the God's honest truth. Almost all of your downtown smells like urine.
Again.
I've never seen poop on the sidewalk, though. That's one thing I've never seen in San Francisco. But yeah, it does. It smells terrible. Oh, also, too many damn hills. Knock it off. But it is a lovely place. Very scenic.
At the federal, state, and local level, we have to have a change in course, and we need leadership that will let this happen. So, it's a little controversial.
It's just like, and we need to decide it's going to make it happen. So.
And I will either get...
Stephanie, you don't have my olfactory. I'm pregnant right now, so I smell everything.
A standing ovation, and I don't care about the ovation. I care about the country. Or people are going to walk out of the commercial, and I will either get a standing ovation, and I don't care about the ovation.
Remember, he tweets about the minutes of applauses he gets. Applauses? Applauses?
Care about the country, or people are going to walk out of the room for what I am about to say, but it's time finally to say it.
Okay, let's see if he gets a standing ovation for this. Or are people going to walk out of the room? Stephanie says, I have a strange sense of smell as well. Well, you told me, Steph. Marcy says, my son's car was stolen a couple of years ago at San Francisco Pride, and when he got it back, there was an autographed Debbie Gibson CD in the trunk. Best car theft ever. That's hilarious.
I did a really good job with drugs on our border. Perhaps nobody is more aware of the drug problem in our country than I am. I worked
Really?
very hard on it for
Not the people that deal with it, not the DEA agents, not okay.
4 years plus.
Yeah. Okay.
We
Plus.
worked long hours. And during my years in the White House, we had great success, especially when you compare it to what is happening now, where drugs are
Great success.
pouring into our country at levels never seen before. We got drug use down 18% in the White House with an effort headed up by our great First Lady. She
There's a joke there, but many, many people have made it on Twitter as well. So you can look that up. Go to ASIN's Twitter page and you'll see the joke.
worked very hard on that.
You got drug use down to 18% in the White House.
But that still meant hundreds of thousands of people were dying from the drug problem. Each drug dealer, on average, is responsible for...
I like how he explains that, because he's talking about the drug problem, people dying, drug problem, and then he says people are dying from the drug problem. Oh, not because of the FOTUSes? Okay, we're talking about the drugs right now, not the rampaging first ladies. Okay, thank you. He's America's teacher.
or the death or the destruction of 500 lives, each drug dealer. At least 200,000 people.
I'm not even going back. It was the Ronnie Jackson, not Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson's the senator from Wisconsin.
A year
But yes, that's the joke, Stephanie.
dying from these drugs. That's an invasion. It's an invasion. Same as bullets, same as bombs, especially fentanyl, a disaster that I greatly slowed down through dealing with President Xi of China. Had long conversations. I said, you got to stop it. And he did.
But he didn't.
But now it's coming in at levels that we haven't seen before.
So he didn't stop it.
Fentanyl.
No, Jackson.
I've
Ronnie
studied all
Jackson.
aspects.
Ronnie Jackson is his former doctor that they knew as the Candy Man. Known for handing out Xanax or Ambien on Air Force One. Just, oh, what do you need? Okay, here you go. Need to sleep? Here you go.
We've had blue ribbon committees headed up by dilettantes, society people, and others that are far more interested in seeing their name in the newspapers than in stopping the massive inflow of
Dilettantes? Green ribbon committees headed up by dilettantes?
drugs. More importantly, even if they wanted to, they wouldn't be able to do it. They wouldn't have a chance.
Okay.
They don't have what's
What?
necessary to win against the evil and unfortunately brilliant minds of those that head the cartels and other forms of drug distribution.
Okay.
If you look at countries all throughout the world, no
Okay.
matter where you go,
Yeah.
the only ones that don't have a drug problem are those that institute
That aren't countries. That are those. Oh, he's going to say the death penalty, I bet.
the death penalty for
Yeah.
drug dealers.
Yeah.
They're the only ones. They don't
Okay, the Philippines would be one of those, and they have massive drug problems.
have any problem.
They have huge problems.
They don't have a drug problem.
They do.
You understand that, Tom? I never even discussed this with you, but you understand it better than anybody. China has no drug problem.
China has tremendous drug usage.
No, China has no drug problem
Dorate.
because they have what's called quick trial. Quick trial.
Okay, so you want Chinese quick trial here in the United States. All right, well, there you have it. Trump is endorsing the Chinese Communist Party.
Where a dealer, when caught, goes to trial quickly. And if
Oh,
guilty,
is that? Wow. Thank you for explaining quick trial to us.
is immediately executed.
Let's find out. I heard laughter as well. I'm not really sure. Let's go back 20 seconds just for a random.
But you understand it better than anybody. China
Yeah,
has no drug problem. No, China has no drug problem.
they might have been reacting to whoever I think Tom. He might have reacted to Trump's. You understand that better than anybody with the drug problem or something. I don't know.
Because they have what's called quick trial.
What's that mean?
Quick trial.
Yeah.
Where a dealer, when caught, goes to trial quickly, and if
Okay.
guilty, is immediately executed. Singapore, likewise,
Yeah!
despite the wealth and all of the other aspects that would normally lead to massive use of drugs, has no
Oh, that's what leads to wealth leads to drug use. Okay, that explains why the poorer areas have no drug
problem because dealers are given, after a fast trial, the death penalty.
Oh, thank you for explaining that again.
Many years ago, China became
But fast. The quick trial is quick and fast.
a drug-ridden country. It was weak, lethargic, and large sections were easily taken over by other countries and the enemy. They had massive problems with opium, as you probably know from reading your history books, and other drugs were devastating them as a
And then the communists took power. Sweet. Okay.
country.
Yeah.
This went on for many, many decades until their leaders decided it must stop, and it must stop now.
Right. Like the American Carnage? Got it. Remember, he promised that the American Carnage, the drugs in the United States were going to stop now. That was his inauguration in 2017. So I don't know why we have a drug problem, because he said he was going to stop it. And he always keeps his promises, right?
It was brutal, but it ended, and it ended very quickly.
Trump is now 50 minutes late for his Alaska rally. They're doing the wave in the building. That's what's happening.
When I was with President Xi of China,
Uh-huh.
I
I had the most beautiful chocolate cake you've ever seen.
innocently and perhaps naively asked, "Do you have much of a drug problem in China?"
He was naive. Something he didn't know.
And he looked at me and said, "No. Why would you ask?"
No, the official Communist Party line is no, there are no problems in China.
He didn't say this, but I'm saying what he was thinking. Why would you ask such a dumb question as that? No, we don't have a drug problem. Why would we have a drug problem? There is no problem. Drug dealers get the death penalty. The trial goes very quickly. So instead of coming into China, they go someplace else. We've had big drug problems over the centuries, but we don't have a drug problem at all now. They don't deal in China. These drug dealers, they just don't deal in China. The consequences are far.
Oh, is that who doesn't?
A drug problem at
Yeah, it's the dealers who don't deal in China.
all now. They don't deal in China.
No?
These drug dealers, they just don't deal in China.
The dealers.
The consequences are
Those-
far too great.
those are the ones that are
called
dealing.
Death. The drug problem in
Okay.
China, however, is our problem because they make drugs there, but they won't sell them there because they're afraid to do so.
Okay, so there is a drug problem in China then, yeah?
So they sell them through our southern border and other places
Oh, Trump believes it.
into the United States.
Xi told him he was doing a good job. And anybody who praises him instantly becomes completely credible in his eyes, no matter what they tell him. Like, hey, we're working really hard on this whole COVID thing. And that's why he sent them the tweet that praised China has been working very hard to contain the coronavirus. The United States greatly appreciates their efforts and transparency. It will all work out well. Over 1 million American dead. In particular, on behalf of the American people, I want to thank President Xi with a tremendous chocolate cake with no drugs inside it.
And we had a very strong understanding when I was president with President Xi, and he was largely living up to that understanding. It was really slowing down, but
And then he sent us the coronavirus and killed so many of us.
now it's out of control. Because Trump isn't there, it's out of control. So we can continue to have our blue ribbon committees.
Yeah, Afghanistan is where most of the opium comes from. Some of Pakistan as well. It could be in some of the southern, the new states of Russia, the former Soviet Union.
Made up of some of the people in this room for
I'm sure there's some research on that available somewhere. I wouldn't know where.
very nice people. They're wonderful people, but sadly, they don't have a clue. Or we can be strong and do what ultimately has to be done. I listened as one country was being excoriated for having horribly executed a relatively small number of people. But the person representing this country said, by doing this, we have saved tens of thousands of people and lives and families. We
He's probably talking about Duarte in the Philippines.
have no drug problem whatsoever in our country. You must also have the death penalty for those who kill police officers as well as those who kill through human trafficking.
Human what? I think he's trying to say trafficking, but...
In our country. You must also have the death penalty for those who kill police officers as well as those who kill through human trafficking.
Trafficking.
Also have the death penalty for those who kill police officers as well as those who kill through human trafficking. The women and children in particular are destroyed by traffickers, making more money than some of the biggest people in business. They are making money that a lot of people, even very successful people, have never seen before. If it were money alone, they should be on the cover of the business magazines, not the nice Ivy League graduates of the wonderful Wharton School of Finance or the Harvard Business School.
Whoa, shout out to Wharton. What is he saying? He didn't go to Harvard Business School.
So we can be streetwise, tough and smart.
Just dropping names.
And end our problem.
He also didn't
or
go
we
to
can
Wharton.
be
Well, it's undetermined whether he went to Wharton. He says he went to Wharton. Wharton says he didn't, but he may have taken a class there. It's part of the University of Pennsylvania, and yeah. Anyway.
politically correct, weak, and frankly extremely stupid, which is probably the way we will continue to be, and lose millions and millions more people to a scourge the likes of which our country and most other countries have never seen before. So do something about it. It's the only way you
I mean, he wasn't alive in the 80s for the crack epidemic? Wasn't alive in the 90s and the 2000s for the meth epidemic? Okay, all right.
going to win. It's the only way you're going to win. Our borders, where drugs come in, were very secure. Just 18 months ago, drugs were way down, and the number of people coming into our country illegally was at the lowest point ever in recorded history.
That is not true.
Now there are no
Anyway,
cesspools
coronavirus, though, did shut down immigration. Nobody was going anywhere.
of drugs and criminals pouring into our country because so many professionals are here today, and while the television cameras, we got them all.
Oh, that's the television cameras, those big cameras in the back there. They got them all. Nobody covered this.
Are blazing as they always seem to be when I speak.
And are they going to turn their lights off? The cameras that aren't there, they're going to turn their lights off now?
Unfortunately, I thought long and hard about making this statement. I'll be criticized by many. It's a strong statement. It's a statement that I don't think anybody in this room has ever heard.
Okay, but there's no standing ovation yet. Is this remember 40 minutes ago when he said he was either going to get a standing ovation or people are going to walk out? What have you made that statement? Did he make a statement? Was it the death penalty for drug runners? I'm still waiting.
I don't think any of these incredible professionals have heard it said. They know what to do, but nobody wants to say it.
What?
And I just hope somebody does something. It's a statement that has to be made. The American people will have to figure it out. And in the end, they will, I am sure, agree with me.
Your supporters something. Hold on. Let's see what he's being heckled with.
To figure it out. And in the end, they will, I am sure, agree with me.
You're supported something. Hecklers, wait until there's a pause. There are so many pauses with Trump. Wait until there's a pause and then do your heckling, and then yeah. But As he said, Trump, your supporters or you supported or something. And someone says, that's our president or something. Oh, Trump's our president. Okay, he's not, by the way. And now all 20 people in the room chant Trump. Yeah, this is last night's rally. Trump is now 58 minutes late for his Alaska rally. Probably, I'm guessing his pilot flew to Alabama.
We just want to have, it's very simple, a great country again. We just want to have a great, and we have to have a safe country. Have to have a safe country.
Just got to have a safe.
I also want to thank the people, by the way, of Wisconsin. I don't know if you heard, but the drop boxes were just ruled unconstitutional and illegal in Wisconsin. And
Nope, not all of them.
that includes for the 2020 race, which was very close. It wasn't
No, it doesn't include for that. They're not retroactively illegal. That's known as ex post facto, and that's not the case at all.
really close, but they say it was.
It's a 5-4 decision by the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and they said because some of the what the rules on the drop boxes in Wisconsin are that it has to be attended by a clerk. So anything that's not near a clerk or a clerk's office is not a legal place for a drop box. This is what 5 of the 9 judges said. Anything, and then they kind of left it up in the open as whether or not a drop box in a clerk's office is legal or not, in which case, why wouldn't you just hand it to the clerk? So anyway, but yeah, for now, drop boxes moving forward, drop boxes, not a problem. However, when they were challenged after the 2020 election, the same Supreme Court of Wisconsin said latches. You should have said something before the election happened. Nothing we could do. Latches is just a legal term for it's too late now. If you had a problem with it, you should have said something.
Close, but now it's not close. It was
The drunk boxes.
just ruled unconstitutional lock boxes by the Supreme Court of Wisconsin. So you know what that means, don't you, huh? So I just want to thank all the people in Wisconsin who fought like hell for that decision. Going hand in hand with what I've said is that we must give back the respect and power that our police once had. They had tremendous respect and power. I remember growing up, a policeman would walk by and you respected that person. The mere concept.
What a great story. Let's go back and hear it again. Because what do we need to do? We need to respect the officers. And then he's going to tell us a story of his childhood involving a police officer. I think he starts this story and has no idea where he's going with it. And then just, yep, okay.
Tremendous respect and what I've said is that we must give back the respect and power that our police once had. They had tremendous respect and power. I remember growing.
Yeah, he's going to tell us a story about how the police officers had respect. So let's hear the story. It's going to be great. I'm sure it's going to be something that involves this little old lady had fallen down or had her purse stolen, and Donald Trump saw it, and then a police officer arrived, or the police officer chased down and everybody respected. The neighborhood came out and applauded the police officer out of respect and for the position and the power. I'm sure that's going to be the story. It's going to be a good one. Here it comes.
Growing up, a policeman would walk by.
Yeah.
And you respected that person. The mere concept.
Moving on. That's the story. Oh, congratulations. At Random is finally negative.
Which is still playing loud and clear of defunding our police, of taking away a liability shield so that when a police officer is in trouble, they have to hire and pay their own lawyers and bail them out, ruin their lives.
They're loan lawyers? Where are they taking loans from?
Taking away a liability shield so that when a police officer is in trouble, they have to hire and pay their own lawyers and bail them out, ruin their lives, lose their pension. Has to go, and it has to go immediately. I watched a major city as water bombs were thrown into the faces of policemen, and they stood there and didn't do anything.
What? Wait, water bombs? What is he? What? Is he talking about water balloons? Do people call them water balloons on the East Coast? Dog Mother, you're out there, right? Who else is in here from the East Coast? Are they called water bombs? Somebody look that up.
So that when a police officer is in trouble, they have to hire and pay their own lawyers and bail them out, ruin their lives, lose their pension, has to go, and has to go immediately. I watched a major city as water bombs were thrown into the faces of policemen, and they stood there and didn't do anything. They were afraid to do anything. They didn't want to lose their job. They didn't want to lose.
Because, okay, so they call them water bombs, apparently, on the East Coast. Thank you. Hi, Christine. Welcome aboard.
Their life. They didn't want to lose their home, their family.
Because of a water bomb.
They just walked away as water was thrown in their face.
Oh, no.
And that was very minor compared to what's happening now. Police
Water.
are being shot, killed.
By the way, that was when Trump was in office. The whole police officers getting dumped with water, that was in New York when he was the president.
Punched in the face, and they feel powerless to do anything. And politics.
I've never heard of being called a water bomb, ever. Am I alone? It's always been water balloons. Always, always, always. My whole life in Canada, here, Africa, England, Ireland, water balloons.
Politicians are weak, very weak, and they're not doing anything to help our police, but I am. They're being...
You're not doing anything because you're not in power. When you were in power, they were apparently dropping water bombs on these police officers.
They're being shot as they sit in their car. They're being attacked in
That happened under you as well.
all different ways, and all of the things that you read today, all you read is about police brutality and how mean and how horrible they are. But
That's not all. That's not all that I read. Ad Random says she lived in the East Coast, West Coast, and the Midwest. Always water balloons. Did you ever hear the term water bombs? At random. It's got to be a very small subset. Okay.
it's not true, and they're performing a great public service. They're giving us freedom. Mistakes will be made. Unfortunately, mistakes will be made, and you have some bad ones too. A very, very small percentage. Very, very small. But our country is a cesspool of crime. We have to...
Thank you, Gallon of Stew. They're called water bombs in the UK. So maybe it's a British thing. When I was in Ireland, they were water balloons.
to give our police back their authority, their power, and their prestige. Have to do it. And if we don't do that, it will only get worse, and it will get worse rapidly. So go ahead and criticize me for...
Okay, so maybe it's an English thing. Maybe we have the Queen to blame for the water bombs.
telling it like it is. Go ahead and have your fun. Liberal fake news media, if you want to do, just do what you have to do. But we're trying to save a country from actual destruction. If you want to stop drugs coming into this country and therefore stop a major portion of crime, because a large portion of crime is caused by drugs, you'll have to
Okay, that's a fair statement. I'll allow it.
do
I was in Ireland in 1983.
what I say, and you really have no other choice but to do what I'm suggesting you do, and it's got to be done soon.
I think we have many choices. I mean, of course, not if you're a woman. But I, as a male, especially being white, in Trump's America, I have a ton of choices. And I made that choice, and it was Biden.
And it's got to be done now. Don't wait, because millions of people will die. Just as importantly, if you want to quell the violence, if you want to end the killing, if you want to crack down on criminals and thugs laying waste to our communities, then this November, you need to vote the Democrat Socialists out of office. You have to do it.
So just Bernie Sanders? Ah! I don't even think Bernie's up for election, is he?
And we know all about the tremendous crime and the statistics, which are so bad, happening right here in the state. As you know, Nevada is a cesspool of crime. You need to elect America First Republicans at every level. 2 years ago, the radical Democrats and their allies in the media launched a full-scale assault upon the rule of law and law enforcement itself. They defunded police, abolished cash bail, and released thousands and thousands of dangerous criminals from jail onto the street. They incited a summer of deadly riots in Democrat-run cities, resulting in dozens of Americans killed and more than 2,000 police officers injured, including one officer shot.
I know, and you did all of that in one day at the U.S. Capitol. It took the Democrats an entire summer to injure 2,000 police officers. You got 140 in one day, dude. That's stepping it up.
Out in the head right here in Las Vegas. You know that.
Like the 5,000 Taliban released from prison. That is true, Dog Mother. That is absolutely true, including their leader.
You remember that. But that wasn't the end of the radical Democrat crime wave. It was just the beginning. In every city where the far left defunded the police or attacked law enforcement, violent crime has now surged at numbers nobody has ever seen.
Okay, it's violent crime has surged nationwide in Democratic or Republican cities, and in some cities it hasn't.
Catastrophically. In Washington, D.C., there was a 35% rise in murders from 2019 to 2021. 35%, and that's low compared to many other cities. In New York, it was up 52%. In Chicago, it was so bad. It's a war zone. It was up much more than 60%. In Atlanta, it was even worse than Chicago.
Yeah, you had no idea, I bet, because people had been saying Chicago, Chicago, Chicago to you.
I had never known that.
No.
You practically can't walk outside without getting shot.
Yeah, in Atlanta. I have relatives. I should say I had relatives in Atlanta. Not anymore. They were all shot. Too bad. They tried to walk outside in Atlanta. Can you imagine? But that's Trump's America. That's the reality he thinks is happening. That you just walk outside and, I mean, of course, you have to go outside from time to time to open up your trunk and leave it open. Or roll down your windows so that someone can steal your car. You're going to get shot doing it. That's the reality in which he and his audience live.
It's so bad. The list
It is so bad.
goes on and on.
I
Just
remember
last month,
during the election, he said the suburbs were going to be all burned down, the suburbs. And here I am in the suburbs. Hold on. I'm going to see if there's any water bombs coming my way. Hello? Oh, son of a gun. Yeah. Chicken noodle if you have it. If not mushroom. Yeah, I'll cook some chicken with the mushroom. There's a guy with a bag of soup out there. So that's working out well for all of us.
A 20-year-old woman was brutally gunned down in New York, shot in the head while she pushed her 3-month-old child in a stroller. In Chicago
Sounds like a gun issue to me.
last week, a 5-month-old baby girl was shot
Yep. That sounds like guns. Guns shoot people, right?
by a savage killer while riding in a car, in the backseat of a car. Did it for fun. Killed the baby for fun.
I think it was a stray bullet, but it could have been. I don't know. People are terrible. So let's not give out so many guns, shall we?
In New Orleans, earlier this year, a 73-year-old woman was left dead after being carjacked by 4 teenage hoodlums. These
Hoodlums. Man, I hate hoodlums.
in New Orleans, earlier this year, a 73-year-old woman was left dead in the
Going back.
backseat of a car. Did it for fun. Killed the baby for fun. In New Orleans, earlier this year, a 73-year-old woman was left dead after being carjacked by 4 teenage hoodlums. These were rough, too. These were bad hoodlums. These were bad ones. She was caught in the seatbelt, dragged for more
These were not just normal hoodlums. They were bad hoodlums.
than a block and a half and was ultimately severed from life, limbs falling off.
Severed from life.
People watched it. Nobody acted. except for a very brave police officer. Literally thousands of Americans are dead today because of the nationwide increase in murders since the left began its...
Is that what happens when people get murdered? They're dead now? Well, at least they can vote.
...to fund the police crusade. Democrat-run cities. The blood of these victims is almost exclusively in these Democrat strongholds.
It is not. That's just the most ridiculous thing to say.
Babies are being killed. Elderly women are being shot in the face and being raped. Elderly women are being raped.
What? What? Yeah, I guess. Yes, sometimes, but wow.
Children are being knife stabbed and disfigured. As a candidate, Joe Biden helped lead his party's vile campaign against our police officers.
No, he didn't. He came out many times and said, "I don't want to defund the police." That was one of Biden's mainstays on multiple occasions, even with Trump in the room with COVID. By the way, remember the debates? There, Biden said at the debates, "I don't want to defund the police." Let's see. I believe I have it. I have several of them, but okay, my computer's working on it. Yeah, there is no live RSBN feed. Let's just search that. We'll find that right now. This is with Trump in the. Okay, never mind. Computer's just not cooperating.
And then he carried the rioters' agenda straight into the White House. Biden has sadly pushed to end qualified immunity. You know what that is, police officers? A declaration of war on law enforcement. In other words, let the...
What?
Biden has sadly pushed to end qualified immunity. You know what that is, police officers? A declaration of war on law enforcement. In other words, let the policeman go out and hire his own lawyer and protect himself, because we don't give a damn about them. And that's what's happening, and that's what's happening with crime. A man slashed police access to surplus. Think of this. We had...
A man slashed police access to surplus. Think of this. What is he? A man slash police access. A man. Where? What is on the teleprompter?
What's happening with crime? A man slashed police access to surplus. Think of this.
We're about to get some verbal kitty litter, but I'm just wondering, what was that?
We had surplus equipment that I made available, and they took it away.
But what was that man slash access? Police. What? I'm hungry.
And they took it back because it looked too militaristic. This was equipment that was sitting in warehouses all over the country. Billions and billions of dollars. It was just getting old and tired and dusty. And we were paying lots of rent to probably a lot of friends of government. And I took that equipment and I gave it away to all of the police departments all over the country. Now they're taking it back from the police departments because they think it looks too militaristic. Much of it is safety equipment so that policemen and women can live. Joe Biden signed an executive order effectively defunding.
I don't know. We'll never know about a man slash access.
Police departments, and staffed his administration with an army of anti-police radicals. Job number one for a new Republican Congress will be to stop this extreme agenda right in its tracks. We want law and order. And then we need to elect a Republican president in 2024.
But he won't show up if he's subpoenaed.
24 to bring Joe Biden's reign of lawlessness to an end. If America restored a proper approach to policing, prosecuting, and jailing, we would immediately cut violent crime in our major cities in half, and very quickly.
That's not how statistics work. And I mean, he was going to stop the American carnage right here and right now.
Under the greatest mayor in New York City history, Rudy Giuliani.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't know I was going to say that. He's watching. Rudy's right now getting well. He had a big problem, a heart problem. He's in a hospital right now.
Oh.
Can you believe it, what they put Rudy through?
I can believe it.
But he was a great mayor.
Trump is now 5:18 p.m. He's now an hour and 18 minutes late for his Alaska showing. Mike Lindell said there were more than 10,000 people waiting outside. This is a 3,500-seat arena, plus people standing on the floor. It took a while before the front section filled in. People went to seats because they figured it would be a while before Trump showed up, and they were right. I don't even know if Trump is on the ground in Alaska yet.
They cut violent crime by 58%, and the murder rate was cut by 66% in a very short, an amazingly short period of time. What a job
That's one of Trump's favorites. Immediately and very quickly.
he did. He had
And as soon as possible, and within a very short period of time, possibly 2 weeks, by the end of the month.
a strong policy of stop and frisk. You know what stop and frisk is? I don't want to mention the words now.
Yeah, because the United States Supreme Court declared it unconstitutionally racist.
And broken windows policing. You know what that is, too?
Yeah, it didn't work.
And while people don't like to talk about it, it really worked.
But it didn't.
One regret I have as president is that I let Democrats that should be running their cities do their job on crime. Instead of saying, I'm going to do your job for you, because we could have stopped crime very easily by being very tough and very smart. I wouldn't do that a second time, I will tell you, because we're not going to let that happen to our cities. They're run by Democrats, and you know we're supposed to let them run it, and they're supposed to be policing their city, just like Nancy Pelosi was supposed to be policing the Capitol building, and she didn't do a very...
No, Nancy Pelosi's not supposed to be policing the Capitol building. That is not her job. And she's also against defunding the police, by the way.
Funding of police is a local matter, as you know. From the standpoint of our legislation, we're not going to that place. What we're doing is talking about how we change policy to make our policing more just and that. There's some issues that we ask police to do, like mental health issues or policing in schools and all the rest, that perhaps we can shuffle some of that money around. But those are local decisions.
Yeah. So, not in favor of defunding the police. Oh no! Did I just shut down? Kevin, you idiot. Give me a second here. We'll get it back. Let's check in, and they are still awaiting President Trump. Give me a second to get Trump back here. Unfortunately, I don't know that there's a way for me to get it back and get us right back to the exact spot. So we're going to have to jump around a little bit, folks, and I apologize. I blame Trump. Because if he was on his schedule, he would actually be there already, and I never would have done that. So now we know. I'm watching one thing, the other thing can't come up. Come on. And now the computer is being slow. Okay, there it is. Movies and TV, where it is, and there we go.
If they commit a crime, stop this extreme agenda right in its tracks. We want law and policing. You know what that is, too? And while people don't like to talk about it,
well, we're almost
and they're
there.
supposed to be policing their city, heroes, people that are
Okay, that didn't take too long.
the greatest of the great, I immediately signed an executive order stating that anybody who even slightly defaced a federal monument or statue would get 10 years.
That's not how laws work. That was already a law. And the executive order didn't actually make the law active. It was already a law. He just signed an executive order saying there's already a law.
In prison.
A president can't pass laws. He can only sign the laws that already exist. And an executive order is not a law.
And 10 years didn't mean 3 months. It meant 10 years. Couldn't do anything about it. 10 years.
By the way, no one has been... No, that's not how it works. No one has been convicted of 10 years for barely defacing a statue.
I signed it, and immediately, everything stopped.
No, not true either. I remember the time.
But today, crime has become far worse than ever before, with Republican victories in 2022 and 2020.
No, crime is not far worse than it ever was before.
24, We can restore tough on crime policies.
Here's the problem, is the FBI keeps track of statistics regarding crime. This year, they didn't receive statistics from 40% of what they should be receiving statistics. So, for example, New York and Los Angeles hadn't reported their statistics to the FBI by the time the FBI said, we got to publish this. So the FBI crime data for last year is completely incomplete. 40% of it it's not there. So we just don't know. So anyone who talks about crime stats from 2021 in terms of national stats, they don't know.
And much.
It's really, really stupid. The same way we don't have any police, there aren't police departments are not required to report shootings involving police officers that the police officers may have killed somebody.
Much more.
Which is kind of an important issue to a lot of people in this country.
Leave our police alone. Let them do their job.
Okay, but hold them accountable. They are state-sponsored gun holders.
They know what to do.
They often don't. Just ask George Floyd, who was killed by 4 police officers. I know it's a very, very small percentage of police officers that are the bad guys, but all 4 of them happened to be at the same place at the same time and killed George Floyd. So what is that percentage? In Milwaukee or in Indianapolis or Uvalde, where the police officers waited around for 78 minutes before they went into the classroom? Where? What is that small percentage? Is that small percentage 60%? 2%? We don't know.
To allow them to do it. Among the first
Still waiting on Trump. It's been an hour and 25.
bills we pass must be to fund a massive increase in the number of police officers in every city and metro area all
Yeah, Biden's already passed that.
across our country. And we want to get really good, powerful people. We want to
I don't know that we want to get powerful people.
get police that can be police. We don't want to hire
Okay, I agree. We need to get police that can be police. I can't argue with him. Judges? Oh, they've fallen asleep.
people that they look at somebody and they're afraid.
Oh, you want to get police officers that make the citizens afraid. I can't. I'm not with you there.
Anybody understand what I'm saying? Do you understand
No.
that, Tom Holman? I don't think so, Tom, right?
I don't think so, Tom.
Police departments continue to hemorrhage officers in record numbers, a direct result
That's not true.
of the Democrat Party's anti-police crusade. And by the way, it continues. They still want to defund the police.
No.
They're trying to say, well, not really, not really. When somebody's saying not really, that means they want to do it.
I should go back. That's what I think I'll do. I think I'll go back, screw my auditions, screw the towel racks that need to be hung. I'm going to go back and I'm going to find all the times that Trump has said not really, because that's saying that he really wants to do it.
It goes on. A Republican Congress should help local communities hire tens of thousands of new police officers, and we will.
Hold on, let
that
me capture
includes
that.
funding to ensure
Just in case I can't
and
sleep
by the
one
way,
night.
it continues. They still want to continue to hemorrhage officers in record numbers, a direct result of the Democrat Party's anti-police crusade. And by the way, it continues. They still want to defund the police. They're trying to say, well, not really, not really. When somebody's saying not really, that means they want to do it. It goes on. A Republican Congress should help local communities hire tens of thousands of new police officers, and we will.
That's 2 different sentences there in his head. A Republican Congress should help. Hire more
That includes funding to ensure cutting-edge recruitment, training, and retention with high salaries, benefits, and retirement plans, because if we don't have police officers, our cities will quickly become even more of a living hell than they are right now.
Oh, so they are a living hell. Okay. So he said that they become a living hell because what he was describing earlier, where you can't walk outside without your trunk being open and you being shot and put into the trunk and then stolen with a broken window, that couldn't be true because that wouldn't be a living hell. So, okay, all right, that's good. That's smart elucidation.
I mean, just take a look at the numbers.
Oratorically.
I thought Chicago was the worst.
Uh-huh.
And then I looked at the numbers from Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
I just said it's just unbelievable.
Okay,
This
it
is
is.
our country. This is not the United States of America.
It is our country, and it has to do with poverty, and we should be addressing that. And you had 4 years in the White House. What did you do?
Furthermore, we need to stop conducting persecutions of officers who make honest mistakes and once again stand behind our brave heroes in blue.
Well, we should prosecute them, and if it was an honest mistake, then that's fine.
to stand behind them. We must.
But I mean, sometimes an honest mistake can kill somebody. For example, when you think you're grabbing your taser, but you actually grab your gun and you shoot somebody for a traffic violation, there might be a prosecution involved there.
Back them up so they can properly do their job. Police officers will never be able to enforce the law if simply doing their jobs can land them in jail, take away their retirement, and basically ruin their
He might be coming out now. All the cameras and the arms are going up there at the Trump rally. So we might have to skip the end of this.
lives and the lives of their family. There's a major reason why in states all across the nation arrests have plummeted by 30 to 50%. They see people robbing stores and they don't want to do anything because they don't want to lose their...
Somebody looked that up. I haven't heard about 30 to 40% plummeting of arrests in cities across America. That is not on my radar.
job. It's gone insane. Under a Republican Congress, we should pass legislation strengthening qualified immunity and other protections for police officers, our law enforcement men and women.
Yeah, what about the blue lives at the Capitol? Their lives don't matter? Someone should write a play about that.
Do their duty to protect our
Duty.
country, and we must do our duty to protect
Duty.
them. And we have to start immediately, not later, immediately.
Oh, the people are singing a song at the Trump rally. They're doing this. I'm not sure what song that is, but I can see them doing that with their arms. Could be any song.
You'll start in November by electing great America First Republicans. It's very important. That also means giving them back their surplus military equipment. We want it to go back to them. In addition, we have to dismantle every single street gang, cartel, and violence.
Oh, I see what happened. They were playing YMCA, and all the cameras went up because they thought, like, oh, Trump's going to come out dancing. He didn't come. He didn't come out.
Violent criminal organization operating in America. Prosecutors, no easy job, have to go after these violent criminals and really mean it. In many cases, however, racist prosecutors should also be...
Jojo, if you're listening, I'd like some snackage if we have any available. Or some of your delicious peanut noodles or whatever you made or something. I'm just kind of hungry.
vigorously investigated for their brazen violation of federal
They're still doing the YMCA.
civil rights laws. It's happening to me with a racist attorney general in New York
That's a lot of white people.
who campaigned solely on the fact that she would get Donald Trump. I'm going to get him. She knew nothing about me. I said, who is this woman? She crazy? A little bit? No, a lot. It's been going on for years as violent crime got worse and worse and worse. They devote their time and energy. We're going to get Donald Trump. They've been trying a long time, haven't they? Likewise, Biden has established committees to go after Republicans, and it seems as though the Justice Department and even...
Biden has not established committees to go after Republicans. Yeah, vegan holiday roast would be fine. That'd be great. Whatever works. And there's some gravy in there too for that, some vegan gravy. But whatever works, I'm happy. Thank you.
local and state prosecutors
Even something out of the snack drawer that I can kind of crunch on. That would be great too.
have become weaponized. They're after politicians, not the people that are murdering people on the streets. Just like a third world dictatorship, Democrats only see the law as a weapon to persecute their political opponents while they let rapists and murderers go free. Instead of going after Republicans and conservatives and others They should be focused on taking down the gangs and the killers, the murderers. And instead of going after law-abiding gun owners, they should be going after the felons and career criminals with guns, enforcing existing federal statutes to get them behind bars. And they are existing right now.
They what? They are existing right now?
Going after the felons and career criminals with guns, enforcing existing federal statutes to get them behind bars. And they are
Oh, okay. The statutes are existing. Hi, LP. Good to see you.
existing right now. Very strong statutes.
Did anybody damage those statutes? And will they get 10 years because you signed an executive order?
We have got to get away from these political witch hunts and start focusing on making America great again. That's what we want to do. We have to stop fighting with each other.
Here he comes. Here comes a looming shadow. And there's that looming shadow. I wonder if he thinks we can't... Oh, God, that looks like Homelander. And he is... Oh, he's so tiny. How tiny he is compared to... Oh, there's somebody else behind him. Oh, my God, look out! There's Secret Service. Guys, he's going to point. He's going to clap for himself. And, all right, while he's doing that, let's, well, I might as well leave him up, I suppose. Hi, everybody. So let's get into the broadcast here. I am your host, Kevin Williams, your KevinlyFather. We will be looking at a Trump rally tonight. It is being broadcast not on YouTube, but on other channels, other platforms. RSBN is the feed that we'll be using tonight as long as it's up. We won't be able to pause much. We will just interject from time to time. We might miss some. It skips around from time to time as well. But we'll be debunking many of the things that Trump says tonight. You're welcome to join us in the chat room. By showing this video, we are transforming and providing transformative entertainment. And we do not endorse any mentions that Trump makes of a stolen election, of health treatments that have not been certified by the FDA or the CDC, anything else like that Trump says is pure nonsense, and we do not endorse that. We are here so that you are able to see a public figure, a well-known public figure, and we've created a town hall so that you can make comments upon that public figure. Good? Good. All right, let's. This is happening just a few minutes ago. Let's see if we can get some volume out of this. It's probably going to be that song that. No, he's doing his thing, listening to the song. We don't want to get a copyright violation. I certainly don't want to take any money out of the pocket of whoever it is who sings this song. But here's the song. Next to you and defend her here today. So he's doing his Love America song or whatever it is. You can see the crowd is very excited behind him. He seems to be low energy tonight again. Had a long trip to get to Alaska. Likely went around the other way. Stopped to see Putin on the way. Needlessly adjust the mic, which is our cue to start the volume. There we go. And a chant of USA up in Alaska. Oh, look! The Blacks for Trump guy is there as well. That's a long way from where he is in Florida. Here we go. How's the volume for you folks? Let me pump it up a little bit. Wait till he starts speaking, because right now that microphone is not live. Here we go.
Well, I want to thank you, and I want to say a very big hello, Anchorage. Hello.
Hello. You guys hear him okay?
And I'm thrilled to be here with the very proud, hardworking patriots of
You don't need to touch the mic.
And very beautiful. I'm flying over that. It is very beautiful state of Alaska.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Alaska is beautiful. That is correct.
I've heard for years there's no place more beautiful, and I agree. I just saw some things that you don't see in normal places. I'll tell you. And this is not a normal place.
Alaska's
when you
normal.
have a lousy senator like Murkowski.
Oh, we hate Murkowski, says the audience.
But we're going to do something about that. We're going to do it. That's why And as you know, I'm here for two reasons: to support great candidates and to fulfill my promise to Alaska that I was going to come here. You know that, right?
I don't remember
Fulfill
that.
my promise. You voted for me twice, and I won in a landslide both times, and now I'm voting for you. That's why I'm here. I'm voting for you, Alaska.
That makes no sense.
And also, as you probably read or heard, my grandfather spent a little time in Alaska. You know about that.
No.
And he loved it, actually. 4 months from now, the people of this state are going to re-elect your terrific governor, Mike Dunleavy. We like Mike. A good man.
Thank you.
I've been with him, and he's been with me from the beginning. And you're going to fire your rhino senator. She's worse than a rhino, Lisa Murkowski.
Republican in name
She
only.
is the worst. I rate her number one bad, and we have a couple of real bad ones, but she's
Number
by
one
far
bad.
the worst.
I rate her number
We'll
one
go
bad.
over that. You want to go over that? We'll go over that in a little while. But you're going to elect a wonderful woman, a conservative warrior, Kelly Tshibaka.
I love Chewbacca.
I think they like you, Kelly. They like you. And you're going to send the great, legendary Sarah Palin to the U.S. House of Representatives.
I don't know why she's legendary.
Incredible woman. You know, just quickly on Sarah, early on, 2015 actually, and I was running and people didn't really know too much about me other than business stuff, and I said, let's run because we got to straighten out the country. We did a hell of a job, by the way. But
I thought we were living in a dystopian
Sarah
nightmare.
was hot as a pistol, and everybody wanted her, and that they just wanted that endorsement. And she was with somebody else, and I figured that was that, but that's all right. But Sarah came out of nowhere, and she said, the one I like best is a guy named Donald Trump. So, Sarah, I'm here to say I like you best. I know your opponents, and I like you way better. You're great, Sarah, and I appreciate it. And I won't forget, we're going to end crazy Nancy Pelosi's political career once and for all.
That's not how that... She'll still be in Congress. Her career won't be done.
You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and then put them all together, mix them all up, and they would not have done the incredible damage that Joe Biden has done to our country in less than 2 short years. 2 years.
Like a national holiday
The
that we didn't have
contrast
before?
between the Trump administration's amazing success and even the other side says we got to hand it. And as you know, last week we had a lot of success in many ways at a place called the Supreme Court. You saw what happened? Ronald Reagan fought and tried to do it, and everybody did. But 4 things came down last week: on guns, on religious liberty, on the environment, and Roe v. Wade. That was a big week. They've
Drinking
been trying
word.
on all of that, but they've been trying
good
for
question.
many, many decades. And
Many.
they got it done.
The word
contrast
many.
between the Trump administration's amazing success and Joe Biden's breathtaking failure could not be more stark. So let's look at the facts. I got gasoline down to $1.87.
I was just about to say that. Anything to do with prices.
And they have it
Those
at
are drinking words.
$5, $6, $7, and even $8 a gallon, and it's going higher.
There you go. Drinking words.
I gave you the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts in American history.
Not true. Not true at all.
The radical Democrats are working like hell to impose the largest tax hike by far in American history. You do know they're looking to raise your taxes by a lot to pay for the Green New Deal.
Green New Deal hasn't been enacted and no taxes have been
based
raised.
on the Green New Deal, remember they started at 12 years. You only have about 7 years left. I don't think anybody's too worried, right? You could worry about nuclear warming, but you can't worry about the global warming. The global warming, they said the other day, I heard somebody, that the oceans are going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 300 years. We have bigger problems than that.
They're already rising. More than that.
We'll have a little bit more beachfront property. That's not the worst thing in the world.
We'll have less
they're working
beachfront
feverishly
property.
to
The man's an
pile on
idiot.
more regulations,
More
at
water,
levels
less property.
never seen before. Under the Trump administration, we had
How-
the greatest
how
economy
stupid
in
do
the
you have
history
to be?
of the world with no inflation. No inflation.
Oh, inflation, drinking.
And before the plague came in from China, we had numbers that nobody's ever seen. Then we did a hell of a job, never got credit for that. More people died under Biden, you saw that. And the job we did with COVID, or as some people call it, to be more accurate, the China virus.
No, COVID-19 is much more
But
accurate.
we did so much in terms of therapeutics, and a word that I'm not allowed to mention, but I'm still proud of that word. Because we did it, we did that in 9 months, and it was supposed to take 5 years to 12 years. Nobody else could have done it, but I'm not mentioning it in front of my people. But
What word is he not supposed to mention?
someday we're going to have to all sit down and have a little talk. But you know what? We did a hell of a job. Biden created the worst inflation in 40 years and going higher. It's going much higher, which is costing families nearly, think of this one, $6,759 a year.
Drinking.
Bigger than any tax
Oh,
increase
vaccines?
ever
He's not
proposed
saying
by
vaccines
anybody.
anymore?
Numbers like that are unthinkable in terms of a tax increase, but that's what you're paying your price for inflation. And we had no inflation. We had it down so good. And you know what caused the inflation? The energy. When the energy started rocketing up, everything else went up. We created
supply chain
7 million
crisis.
new jobs. We had a record 164 million people working, far more than now. We achieved the largest poverty reduction in 50 years. We lifted 7 million people off of food stamps, and we lifted 10 million people off welfare. 10 million people off welfare. Under Biden, there are still 4 million people who have not returned to the labor force. Real wages are just absolutely collapsing.
We're actually back where we
Especially when you
were.
add inflation. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And the misery index, did you ever hear of the misery index? It's real. Is soaring to heights that we've never seen before. The misery index. That doesn't sound too good. I rebuilt our military, including nuclear capability and the creation of Space Force. And in your case, I can say it, much of it has come to a place called Alaska. Did you ever hear of it?
We are
Much of
almost
that
back to the
military
same
has
number of
come to
people
Alaska.
working.
They surrendered our strength and our effort and all of the blood, sweat, and tears. What they did in Afghanistan, it was the greatest humiliation in the history of our country. And remember, I got it down. I wanted out. We would have gotten out with strength and dignity. We would have taken the military out last, not first. Not one soldier was killed in the last 18 months in Afghanistan. I met with
Many were. You were in office for 4 years.
a couple of times. Abdul, the leader of the Taliban. And the fake news is saying, why did you speak to the... That's the one. And I said, Abdul, don't do it. Don't do it. They were killing a lot of our people. The snipers. I said, don't do it, Abdul. Don't do it. He said, much tougher than that, but I don't want to do it now. I'm not in the mood to do it now because every time I think of this subject, you get sick to your stomach.
I want to.
But you know what?
I
We
want to
didn't
hear
lose
him
one
being tough.
soldier in 18 months, and then we withdrew, and we lost a lot of soldiers, 13, but it's 13, and they never talk about those soldiers that have been horrifically wounded, just incredibly, with the arms and the legs and everything else. We created...
Killed by ISIS
Think of
acts
it, that Afghanistan
that he released
thing,
from prison.
As bad as they were doing on the border, and there's never been a country, in my opinion, any country, third world, fourth world, no country's ever done worse on a border than we've done. But when the Afghanistan thing happened, that was the end. That was the biggest embarrassment in the history of our country. Think of it. 13 dead, many wounded, $85 billion of the finest military equipment in the world left behind. You know, they are now the largest arms dealer in the world. Did you know that? I read the other day they're the largest arms because they're selling it. They don't need 700,000 rifles and guns, so they're selling a lot of them. 71,000 trucks and vehicles. You know what? There is not a car company in the United States that has any inventory of 70,000 bicycles, automobiles.
No.
These are
no car company
70,000.
has.
Many
That is
of them
correct.
are armor-plated.
No
the
car
most
company has
expensive things
70,000
you've ever
bicycles.
seen.
He's right.
70,000 trucks and vehicles we left behind. And think of that, though, 700,000 rifles. The best binoculars, the best night vision. They didn't fight in the night because they can't see now. They can fight at night. Better than what we have because they have the brand new version. Airplanes, tanks, helicopters. They gave one to Russia. They gave one to China because they haven't been able to catch us on helicopters, but now they're taking it apart, and they'll be able to do it also. That was the worst humiliation we've ever had. We created the safest border just 2 years ago in U.S. history. We had the safest border. Now we have the worst. We ended catch and release. We deported record numbers, thousands and thousands of illegal alien gang members. We got them out. And we built hundreds of miles of border wall. In fact, we completely finished our original plan despite 2.5 years of horrible litigation, all inspired by the Democrats.
They didn't finish.
Many of them in Congress. We won them all.
He
11
often
different
says
cases.
in
We won them
2 or
all.
3 weeks he would
And we
finish.
started,
Now
and we did a
he's
great
finished
job
it.
with that. That's one of the reasons our numbers were so low. Plus, Mexico gave us 28,000 soldiers for nothing. You know why they gave us the soldiers? Because they said, if you don't, we're going to tariff all of your product coming into the United States. And they said, we would love to give you 28,000 free soldiers. We would love, Mr. President, to give you. Would you like some more? We'll give you some more. I said, I don't think we can fit anymore. We had 28,000.
They weren't here.
Soldiers,
They were in
Mexican
Mexico.
Soldiers, and they were great, and the president's
There
a
were
great guy.
there were no
He's a
Mexican
great guy.
soldiers on
He was
U.S. land.
socialist, but
That's known
he's
as
a great
an
guy.
invasion.
But he was very nice, and we set records like nobody's ever seen. Nobody can even believe our numbers. 3 weeks was all
They
it would
didn't
take
give
to
us
finish that
28,000
extra section
soldiers.
of the wall. They didn't want to do it. Not only didn't they do it, they took the pieces away so that Texas and Arizona couldn't use them. The border was the best and safest in U.S. recorded history, and they have turned it into the worst in history. Right now, you have the worst border in history. Biden and the radical left have turned calm into chaos, competence into incompetence, stability into anarchy, prosperity into poverty, and security into catastrophe. And instead of energy independence, you know, we were energy independent a year and a half ago.
We weren't. But then, by that metrics, we were also energy independent in 2021.
Instead
And
of energy
are
independence,
probably energy
the US
independent
is
now.
becoming an absolute beggar for energy. You see what they're doing? He's going to Saudi Arabia to ask for oil. He didn't like Saudi Arabia. I did. I always liked him.
You also asked
But he
Saudi
didn't
Arabia
like
for
him.
oil.
Now he's going there and he's asking for
Remember
oil.
to help
Please give
Putin.
us energy. How about last week? Thousands of barrels of oil. You know where it's going? To China.
Some of it, yeah.
And it comes out of the strategic reserves.
Right. We give them to the oil companies, and then the oil companies do what they will with it.
At low numbers, too, when it was nice
Most of
and
it went
low.
to Europe. Well,
The election was rigged and stolen, and now our country
it was
is
not.
being
Just
systematically
those people watching on
destroyed.
YouTube, the election was
Yesterday,
not
we got
rigged. It
big
was not
news out of
stolen.
the great state of Wisconsin. Did you see it?
I
The
did, yeah.
Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled that widespread use of ballot drop boxes, I call them unlock boxes because they unlock them,
You call them drop
all
blocks.
across the state of Wisconsin is totally illegal. I said, illegal?
Well, not all the drop boxes, no. Or the drop blocklesses.
So they said it was illegal. So what does that mean? I know what that means. You all know what that means. How about some of
What?
these boxes come in? 100 votes for Biden, none from Trump, none.
That's not true.
They couldn't even give me one.
Nope.
That's why they're called unlock boxes. Just as I've said all along, the use of these unmanned, unsecured drop boxes was never authorized by the state legislature. But partisan radical Democrat officials simply did it anyway. They just put these boxes all over the place.
And so did Republican
and then
officials.
They dumped them.
Remember,
in other
Wisconsin
words,
was a Republican
systematically
state.
violated the law to rig the 2020 presidential election. So now in Alaska, we didn't have to worry about it because we won. We won by so much, you know. We didn't have to worry about it.
He did win Alaska.
We didn't worry about it, did we? I ran twice. I won twice. I did much better the second time
He ran
than I
three
did
times.
the first.
He lost twice.
Getting many, many millions more votes than we did in 2016. And likewise getting more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country by far.
That's actually true. But Biden got more.
And now, with the approval of the great people of Alaska, we may have to do it again.
He often cites that he got more votes than any sitting president in history. Yeah, that's true, but Biden got 81 million votes, 4% more than Trump. And of course, what matters is the Electoral College, not the number of votes you get. The Republicans haven't won the popular vote since George Bush the second time.
Most urgent tasks for the Republican Party this November, because you have the votes, you're going to win. You're going to win. But you have to make sure that you watch the voting and the ballot counting. Because
but they're in
Kelly
Alaska.
And Sarah, your governor, they're going to win, but you got to watch the ballot counting.
Well, if they're going to win, then it's okay.
Unfortunately, that the vote counter is far more important than the candidate. Does that make sense to you? That's an old expression used by a very powerful man. I won't even give you his name because we don't need that name thrown out. They'll say, Trump admires him. No, I don't admire him. But he said the vote counter is far more important than the candidate.
Right, he was
When we win, a top priority for the Republican Congress must be to end the nightmare Joe Biden has created on our southern border. Every day, the radical left's open borders policies are getting innocent Americans killed. A few months ago, an illegal alien in Florida was charged with violently beating to death a 74-year-old woman, stealing her money and burying her body.
Yeah, he ran in 2000 as well.
Grave.
Dropped out during the primaries.
They didn't know where she was.
He couldn't even
said,
win
but
California.
She's not there. No, they found her in a
He got
shallow
15%
grave.
of the vote in 2000.
Last year, an illegal alien in Chicago walked into his neighborhood home and executed a person at point-blank range while his family was nearby and watching. And just this week in Richmond, Virginia, 2 illegal aliens were arrested for a plot to conduct a brutal mass shooting at a 4th of July celebration. And you saw what happened on the 4th of July with the other maniac. The radical Democrats have turned our country into one giant sanctuary for dangerous criminal aliens. In the Republican Party, we believe our country should be a sanctuary for law.
The worst mass shooting in American history happened on your watch.
Like we do. Like we do. As we restore the rule of law in our borders, we must also restore law and order to our streets.
Yeah, there's a bunch of illegal Canadians in Alaska.
All Democrat run. You know that. It's one thing they have in common. Democrat run. Under Joe Biden last year, murders hit the highest rate in 25 years, and probably much more than that. They don't go back any further. And this year it's going much higher. We're at a clip that nobody's ever even
Homicide rates
before.
go back for
Under a
hundreds of
Republican
years.
Congress, we should pass emergency funding to hire thousands more police officers. We love our police officers. I just met some of your police officers backstage. We took pictures with them. They are the best looking human beings, I hate to say it, I've ever seen. They look like movie stars. They look like Tom Cruise, only better. But we want thousands more police officers in communities nationwide to put violent criminals behind bars and keep them behind bars and send them the hell out of our country and back to their country.
Why didn't you give the city's budgets to do this?
And we're going to tell our politicians to leave our police alone. Let them do their job. Give them back their respect. They know what to do. We have to allow them to do it.
Very different crowd than last night. He voted to cut police funding many times. Well, he didn't vote. He proposed in his budget.
Instead of targeting
and then
Republicans,
Congress would say, no, we need the budget.
And patriotic parents, the Biden administration should try going in and dismantling the street gangs and deadly cartels that are occupying our beautiful cities. And instead of taking guns away from law-abiding Americans, we should try taking them away from violent felons and career criminals, Rachel.
Well, we do that too. No one is taking guns away from law-abiding Americans. That's not happening.
And enforcing existing federal statutes.
No guns are being confiscated.
Get them in jail or bring them back where they belong in their own country. Get them the hell out of here and have them be looked at very carefully. We don't want them back.
So the kid in Chicago?
They had a very hard time coming back into our country when we got him out.
He was illegal, was he?
The problem was that you'd have the gangs, right? You'd have all these horrible gangs that come from, in some cases, Mexico, but Guatemala and Honduras and El Salvador. Rough. Although 141 countries were counted last week of people that came illegally. 141 countries. But we couldn't bring them back to those countries. They wouldn't take them. This was under Obama. You couldn't bring them back. They wouldn't take them. So Border Patrol, who are phenomenal people, and I saw these guys, these are phenomenal, brave, incredible people. But they were told you can't bring them back because the countries wouldn't take them. The countries wouldn't take them. So they don't want the gang members back. They don't like people that kill people. So rightfully they said no.
They don't.
And I said, well, what are you saying? We'd fly an airplane, load it up, and bring it back to a certain country.
Yeah.
And they would say to that country, we're landing, and they say, no, you're not, and they'd put airplanes all over the runway so you couldn't land.
That's not how it happened.
So I said, how much do we pay those countries? The primary countries, right? How much do we pay them?
No country put airplanes all over the runway to keep American jets from landing. That's insane.
By the way, they've been working on this problem for 10 years. This one took me about 3 minutes to think of.
Hi, Sarah.
He said, inform them we're not making any more payments because they're not treating us with respect, which now nobody's treating us with respect. And the next day, I got a call from all three presidents of those countries.
Yeah.
And they basically said the same thing. They said, sir,
we're going to move our airplanes so that you can land.
Because you're not treating our country with respect. You're not taking in your gang members that left your country. Probably you pushed them out of your country into the United States, to be more exact. I said, if you don't take them back, we're not going to make the payment. But, sir, why didn't you call me? We'd be honored to take them back.
I like the little kid is waving at herself on the monitor. Or himself. Hard to tell.
Please,
right behind Trump,
sir,
down here.
Send MS-13 back.
They must have it on the big screen. The kid has just been waving.
And from that point on, we had no problem.
Cute kid.
I still didn't pay them.
Wave.
To realize they were. You know why? They get so much money from us. They don't even
I'm not
know
even
what
paying
the hell's
attention to Trump anymore.
It's ridiculous. So they were getting like $750 million. And I heard the other day that Biden wants to make it $4 billion. They said, no, you make it less, not more. So
kid's tired. Sleepy time.
Like that to these
Sleepy
so
time.
A lot of rich
you go sleep.
presidents, dictators, and others.
Is he on? He might be on his dad's shoulders. Yeah, he's on his dad's. Or her. I can't tell with the kid.
If you want to make our country safe for violent criminals, vote for the radical, crazy Democrats. If you want to make it safe for your family, your children, and for law-abiding Americans, you must vote Republican and do it quickly and get Murkowski out of here because she's not a Republican.
No, she's a Republican. She's a 28-year Republican senator.
Our country doesn't win anymore.
Why is he blowing the microphone?
We don't win with our military, with education, with trade, with anything. Although I won. I knocked out ISIS. We got 100% of ISIS gone.
And then you let out the Taliban.
Remember al-Baghdadi, the founder of ISIS? How are you, al-Baghdadi? He's not around any longer.
He's
They've been
dead.
looking for him for 20 years. No, ISIS is 100%. We have great military. We have phenomenal military.
No, I thought Joe Biden destroyed the military. That's what the other speaker said.
Remember General Raisin Kane? Did anybody ever hear that story? General Kane? Anybody know General Kane? You know,
We
not
don't
the
have to tell that
television
story.
generals. They're not the good ones. They're terrible. But the generals that really fight, General Raisin Kane, I went to Iraq.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get rid of ISIS, and I couldn't understand because a couple of our television generals said it was going to take anywhere from 2 to 3 years. I said, you mean we have the most powerful
I'm just watching the kid.
military in the world?
The kid is
and
getting
was
more bored
rebuilding
than I
at a
am.
level that they've never seen before. And why would it take
That kid's
3
asleep in,
years to do this?
let's
He said,
say,
quickly.
20
He said,
minutes.
Sir, it'll take 3 years.
It's now 6:03. By
I don't
6:23,
think so. That was General
I think that
Mattis.
kid's
He said
asleep.
It will take 3 years. And I said, I don't think so. We're spending all this time. So I went to Iraq with the First Lady, and I said, First Lady, I think these guys know how to fight. We landed. But before we landed, I don't know, we're flying in Air Force One, and we're about an hour out. We're over the desert. And they said, sir, could you please close your shades? I said, I'm president. You should close them, but I'll do it. Don't worry about it. There's a lot of shades in there. You know, you'll be... And then they said, sir, we're going to be turning off the lights in the plane. I said, what do you mean? It's going to be dark in the plane. You won't be able to see it all. We won't have any light.
It's very complicated.
That's not good.
Like,
Why
what do you
are
mean?
doing
What do you
that?
mean the lights are
Because
going?
we're
It's going to be
flying into
dark
Iraq.
if you turn the lights off?
We've been there for 20 years. We can't even land a presidential plane there, right? We're flying into Iraq. It's dark. And I love these pilots. These are the best pilots in the world. You know, when you fly Air Force One, you got to be like seriously good. If you're looking for a pilot,
I think
you're
if you
willing to
fly
pay a
any plane,
ridiculously high
you
price,
should be
go
seriously
get the
good.
guys flying Air
That's
Force
just me.
One. They take, that's like a pyramid, right? Like the golfers, you know, you get the guys, these guys are good.
Just like the golfers.
So
Yeah.
I go up and
Yeah.
I want to watch, if I see on that plane, you actually
Just
go
like
up.
golf.
You have to go up a floor. And I want to watch the landing. So I go up and
Yeah.
I sit down, two handsome people, and the place is loaded with these fantastic, like movie stars. Everyone's a
Yeah.
movie star.
Really important
And they say,
information.
how are you, sir?
Handsome
I say,
people.
We're doing good. We're landing in 10 minutes, sir. I said, this plane is so dark, I can't see anything. They don't even have the controls practically in lights, like dimmed. And I'm going, I'm
they
5,
do.
6, 7 minutes. And then I hear the speaker. It's from a computer, the voice of a computer. Only a pilot would know.
Oh, yeah.
It goes, 1,000. That means 1,000 feet.
Oh.
It goes 900.
Oh, 1,000
800,
means 1,000.
700. And I'm
Only
saying,
a pilot would know
"Hey,
this.
Captain. I
He
don't see
said,
the
because he
airport
didn't understand what it was. And he's like,
We're
why
going
did it
in at
just
like
say
400
1,000?
miles an
Oh,
hour,
that's
very
1,000,
fast.
1,000 feet,
I said,
sir.
why are we going so fast? You know the reason, right? It's harder. The faster you go, the harder it is. So I say, Captain,
to shoot the
where's
plane down.
airport? Sir, no problem. I'm saying, all right. They go 500, 400, 300, 200. And I'm saying, oh.
Slapping him down.
I
100.
have these guys, they're cool as a cucumber.
And I can see those fighter planes.
Yes, sir. It's right ahead.
Yeah.
There's no light. And we end up landing like perfect. Like perfect. It's like genius,
Okay.
okay?
Perfectly,
And
yeah.
I go, oh my God.
Ah,
Oh,
ah.
Sarah. I said, oh, we made it. We made
Okay.
it, Ron.
Yeah, we know.
Just like you made it all the time.
Because you're here now.
Slap shot. But we landed. I said, great job, Captain. There was no problem. But I never had an experience like that in my life. I said, there's no way. That's how good they are, though. It's incredible. It's brilliant. So we landed. The doors open, and there's a general waiting outside with another general and a staff sergeant or a drill sergeant. This guy, you had to see this guy with a crew cut. I'm going to have my hair cut like that.
Really? Somebody in the military with a crew cut? Okay.
This guy's like a flat. You could eat dinner on the top of his hair.
You wouldn't. Do
This
not
guy's
eat
the
dinner.
best-looking human being. All of them.
Off someone's
I don't know,
head.
Where do they get these people? It's like this crowd. Look at this crowd. Everyone's good looking.
Everyone, especially this kid.
Do they have any bad-looking people in Alaska? It's okay. You know? Oh yeah, Mike Lindell. He's over.
Whoa, what happened there? Stop
Greatest
it.
ad buyer in history. This guy.
There he
does
is. Oh, the
anybody
kid's
ever
down.
buy- you have to be the. I want you to do all of my.
The
ad
kid's
buying.
gone. The kid disappeared when they went to the
Multiply
crowd
it
shop.
times 10 for the same price. No, but so we land and the door opens and I walk down and they have these two generals and the sergeant and some other soldiers. Everybody's great. And we land in this incredible airport that would took, billions and billions to build years ago. And I go in and they said, would you like to go to sleep? I said, no, thanks. Let's go to work. I'd rather not sleep. Other people sleep. I don't sleep. So we go in.
Psychosis. Go on.
I said, what's your name? He said, Kane, sir. My name's Kane. I said, that's a nice name. What's your first name? Raisin. I said, wait a minute. Let's get this straight. Sarah, I said this. So your name is
I like
Kane,
that he's
but your
including
first name is
Sarah
Raisin,
from time
so
to time.
Your name is Raisin Kane. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. And he didn't say it like a wise guy. He just didn't know what it was even. Why was I questioning it? I said, your name is Raisin Kane. I think I'm going to like you a lot. That's what I want. I want a
of his
guy,
name.
I want a Raisin Kane, right?
Was he good looking?
So-
like the pilots?
We go
Like
into
that
the
audience?
war room,
Yeah.
and I say, how long would it take you to knock out ISIS? Because General Mattis and some of the others are saying 3 years. 3 years is a long time. He said, we can do it in 3 weeks, sir, maybe less.
I like this guy. This is my new favorite. Hold on. There he is. Check him out. He's got everything going on here.
I said, Raisin, tell me that again. 3 weeks and we'll have time left over, sir. I said, how would you do it in 3 weeks? Well, I never liked what they did, sir. I said, why didn't you tell them? He said, that's not our job. I'm a soldier, sir. When they come in, they tell us what to do. We do it. We don't tell them that they're wrong. I said, you thought they were wrong? I don't want to say that, sir. For a real good soldier, right? I can understand it, but not that much. I said, you didn't want to get into like an argument. I would have had an argument, and I would have never been a general, I guess.
Oh, he's even got the pants.
But I said, so what would you do different? Well, sir, we only attacked them from this base, and this base is very, very far away from where they are. So by the time we got our airplanes over there, we have to bring them back because they get low on fuel. We could only be in fight for.
Yeah. I just want to point out, when the guy moved his sign, he's even got American flag pants. Oh, you can see him there. You can just see him. This is like a Dollar General exploded on this guy. I love him.
Bases or something like that. I said, so what would you do? Sir, I'd
Well,
hit
by
him
the
on
way, he's
left, I'd hit
completely
him on the
stoned right now.
I'd hit him in the fucking center, sir, right?
Oh, drops the F-bomb. Audience goes nuts. Yeah. He said the F word. Did you hear that? Oh my God, guys. This is the greatest rally ever. I'm going to hold my sign up upside down. Yay. Yeah, he said F-bombs. USA. USA. America
But sir, I'd hit him
save.
hard. I'd hit him really hard. I'd hit him from all over, and we have a lot of planes, sir. We have all these bases we could take off, but they only wanted to use this one. This is the furthest away, and it was not good, not good. Said, why didn't they use the other bases? Politically correct. They didn't want to offend other countries. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? And he was being respectful and nice to the people that he reported to, but I said, this is just, that's why we've been there for so long, 21 years. 21 years, it was enough, the endless wars. So I said, so General, you can do it in 3 weeks. I think less, sir. I said, I'm going back to Washington. I'll give you a call. So
I don't know who this lady is. I don't know if she's related to the kid that's probably asleep now or not. But I gotta say, I was sad when they got rid of her character on Ozark.
And in a very, very short period of time, that was the end of ISIS, 100%. Do you remember I knocked out 98%? I said, all right, let's bring them home. I want to bring our people back home. They don't even want us over there. Why isn't Iran fighting ISIS? Why isn't Russia fighting ISIS? Why aren't all these other countries over there, Syria? Why aren't they fighting? Why are we the ones doing it? And they were enemies of them. They hated them more than we do. So why are we always doing it?
No. We hate ISIS a lot.
And Europe put up 5, 6, okay?
Boo. Boo for Europe.
We are just, we're led by fools. We're led by fools. We had it going so good. But it was done. And then I got a call, sir, give me the final order. What does that mean? I said, there are a lot of them in a certain area. They all got together. I said, we're gonna do something about that. They said, we got to go after him, sir, get him, knock him out. Just tell us when, we'll knock him out in a matter of minutes. These are human beings. I mean, would they like to surrender? You know, I said. He said, sir, they don't know what the word surrender means.
That's not being tough.
Beings. He goes, no, sir, they're animals. These are animals. These aren't human beings. These are animals, sir. And he said, look, you know, I mean, I did nicely in the real estate business. I'm saying, now I got to do this. And it's a hard thing to give an order like that. He wanted that order. And I said, why don't you fly the planes back and forth over him, all over the place, scare the shit out of him? He said, sir, that's not going to have any impact. They don't scare so easy.
Yeah, and they might shoot
So
your
I said,
planes
well, give
down.
it 3 days, fly a lot of flights right over him. And he calls, they call back, sir, just give us the order. It didn't work, did it? No, it didn't work, sir. I said,
Well,
go
that was a
ahead and
huge
do it.
waste
We
of
knocked out
resources
100%
and endangering military
of ISIS
members.
in a period of 3 years.
So you're telling us
then we
basically
took
that
out-
strategically you're an idiot.
Right?
I think that's the first time he's told that story.
He's trying to form it again.
Wait,
Remember, you know, we see the
what
picture
part of
this
that?
guy-
What part of flying planes over the remaining members of ISIS for 3 days is good? Why would he tell that story? It's possibly true. And what the general told him at the time, sir, that's not going to work, it probably happened. Or who knows? But for fuck's sake, what a dumb story. Oh, it'll be in the repertoire now. Audience reacted. Go. There we go.
And then Soleimani, who's the father of the roadside bomb, who killed so many people and maimed. Whenever you see somebody walking around with no legs, a soldier, no arms, blown to pieces, that's Soleimani. 90% of it was Soleimani. More than that.
No,
From Iran.
not accurate at all.
Knocked him out. Al-Baghdadi, Soleimani. And we were respected. I want to tell you, when I told you I spoke with Abdul, he was calling me Your Excellency. Yes, Your Excellency. No, Your Excellency. Said, Abdul, don't do it again. But why, Your Excellency? Do you send me a
F-bombs for
picture of my
clicks.
house? Why? He said, you'll have to ask your wives. Wives, plural. Right here in Alaska, you have some critically important elections coming up, starting with the primaries of August 16th. So, by the way, I do want to thank our soldiers because we have the greatest in the world, okay?
Oh, okay. You know Biden ends every single speech with, God bless our troops.
I didn't want to give you a long story, but you know, every once
But
in
you
a
did.
while, because you see, we look like fools all over the world with the Afghan, you know, we would have left, but we would have also...
Afghanistan.
We want
Not the Afghan.
Field, right, Bagram?
Afghanistan.
It's 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. We gave it up. Billions and billions of dollars it cost many years before. Billions. Longest air runways. Most powerful runways. They can handle anything.
Most
I think they're
powerful
8 feet
runways.
thick of concrete and
What?
steel. We gave it up, and now I believe China...
Hold on. Ah, it won't work. Come on,
Never
Rumble.
been like this. We've never been so
Oh, well.
disrespected. We're being laughed at all over the world, and I wish I didn't have to say that. I wish I wouldn't even be up here. I wish we had a country that was respected and doing
I wish
great,
you weren't up there either.
because I don't get any thrill in saying what I'm saying, but everybody knows it. We have the lowest approval rating in history.
Who?
We are
What?
the least respected we've ever been as a country all over the world.
That's not true.
And pay our respects to Prime Minister Abiy because he was a great man. He was a great man. We had a great relationship with him.
Okay, he's talking about
He
Shinzo
would've been
Abe of
out
Japan, who was just
If we
assassinated.
needed him. He was a great man. This is your precious chance to dump the horrific rhino senator, Lisa Murkowski, who's worse than a Democrat. She's worse than a Democrat. And how Sullivan doesn't come out and denounce her is amazing to me, I'll tell you. He called me up. He was 8 points down, and then I endorsed him, and he ends up winning his race. How he doesn't denounce Lisa Murkowski for what she's done to this party and to your state. Murkowski has been in the Senate for 21 years. Her father held the seat for 21 years before. She's a total creature of the Washington swamp, but much worse than that.
Is it 21 years?
And a tool of a corrupt establishment, the likes of which we've never seen. The fake news media loves
I thought it was
her.
28 years. Could be
That's
wrong.
in itself. And
Somebody
one
can
of
look
the
that
most
up, and it doesn't
destructive
matter.
two-faced rhinos, she betrayed the Alaska voters. She wiped out Anwar. Do you know that Anwar?
She didn't wipe out Anwar.
Do you know that Anwar is the biggest
No.
site? Maybe Saudi Arabia, maybe not. You had the biggest site. Ronald Reagan tried this. Did you know that, Mike? Ronald Reagan tried
Finish the
endlessly
sentence.
to get it, couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. The Bushes, they don't try so hard. The Bush. They're Bush. What do they do? They don't try.
What is that?
They're Bush.
What's
They've
the
been
lady
lost
doing
for
in the
a long
background?
time. So they didn't
Four.
try that hard, but they tried.
Four.
They all tried for years, decades
Four,
and
four,
decades.
four?
They tried. They
Four,
couldn't get
four.
it. I got it. And Lisa Murkowski approves a person that in the first day of office wipes out Anwar. Now, Lisa Murkowski could have said, I'm not going to vote for you unless I have assurances of Anwar for Alaska. They would have been paying you taxes, okay, if you had that. The biggest site probably in the world. And it was
It's not.
wiped out in one day by Lisa Murkowski's approval.
I thought
She had
Obama
the
too. I'm
final
not sure what
vote.
she's doing.
She could have made a deal, could have done something. Just remember she did it. Because I know what's going to happen. You have that ranked choice crap voting. If you're in fifth...
None of those people to whom he's referring can override an executive order unless they vote en masse. And Lisa Murkowski is not in charge of the Senate or the House of Congress. But, what the hell? It doesn't mean anything. It's not reality in his world.
Watch that. This is really horrible what's going on with our elections. So-and-so had 5 votes for 5th place. So we're going to give them the victory. It's crazy. It's
Alaska
crazy.
has
who got
ranked
it put
voting.
in? Lisa Murkowski got it put in. Because she knows...
Willie
She
McCovey.
knew, just look at the polls, she knew she could not win a straight-up election. So she went for crazy rank choice.
That's very common.
You never know who won in ranked choice. You could be in 3rd place. They announce that you won the election. It's a total rigged deal, just like
It could
a lot
happen.
of other things in this country. Murkowski
But you wouldn't be in 3rd place.
repeatedly voted in favor of amnesty for illegal aliens, and she voted against allowing funding for the border wall. How was that one? Good? This is what I had to fight against. She opposed Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation to the Supreme Court. He just gave you the most
that is true.
important vote you've ever had.
Not the part about
But
him
she
having
was
the most
against
important
him.
vote. But yeah, she was
She
against
voted
him.
to approve Joe Biden's radical left Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, the most far left justice in history by a factor of about 6. In fact, I saw where she was bragging. She said, in all the years I've been...
Can I get it, Matt? Can I get it? Come on. Show me Kachanji.
That's nice. You're not supposed to say that, are you?
Damn
You're
it!
not supposed to say
Stupid
that.
Rumble.
She's the most radical judge and the most radical left judge.
Kachanji? Yeah.
By the way, the most
Because she's
radical-
pro
radical left.
Kachange.
And who approved her? Lisa Murkowski approved her. Murkowski voted to support taxpayer-funded late-term abortions. 9 months, the baby can be born, like in Virginia. Remember the governor of Virginia? The baby's born, and then we'll sit down with the mother and find out what we want to do with it. Remember that guy? Well, that's basically what they're approving. That's basically what they're doing. And Murkowski voted in favor of it. Murkowski voted to support Joe Biden's gun-grabbing attack on the Second Amendment. I think the people of Alaska, Sarah, is this correct, Kelly? I think they want their guns. I think they like the Second Amendment.
They are, yeah, because people in Alaska are afraid of Kachange.
It's like the fake news. Look at all of them
Changey.
back there. Look at all those cameras. Oh, the fake news.
They're not the fake news. I mean, they are the fake news, actually, because it's RSBN, etc.
You know, they said President Trump is very close. It's too close to call in Texas. This is before the election. Polls were showing me even. And Texas guys were saying, I don't know about you, but I know Texas, and he ain't even in Texas. So they're against guns, God, and oil. I'm in favor of guns, God, and oil. It's Texas. Now, so
We might substitute something here. Give me a second.
So they said that before the race, they said, no, Texas is too close.
Okay.
You can't. It's going to be a very close race. It's going to be very. Everyone's saying, what do you mean close race? How can you be against oil and guns and God?
Okay, give me a second here. I'm going to pull up Newsmax feed because that might be better for our purposes. Give me just a second and give me some volume.
Anyway, but the press says that because if they can cheat, people aren't going to be so surprised. Does that make sense? You can't have a 20-point lead and then win. Okay, you can't do that where all of a sudden you then lose. So what happens is they say, oh, it's going to be very close. And I keep hearing this, and yet I'd go
I can't pause this feed either.
record today in the history of Alaska. Do you know what's outside? Do you know how many people are outside? Would anybody like to leave now and let some of the people outside come take it? Well, we set up some screens
let's go
outside,
back to the
but,
other one. The
there
sound
are
is better. You're
thousands
right,
of people
guys.
outside, but this is a new record. The arena owner said this is a record that will not
There we
be
go.
beat.
Hold on.
But a bigger record is what's outside. So anyway, so let's finish. So Texas. So you know the way on election night, if you have a really insurmountable lead, they'll call it early, right? But they can never call it until the doors close. So the doors close at 8 o'clock, like Eastern time. So the doors are closed. And here's the, ladies and gentlemen,
That
the
they
voting
called
has
it
stopped in Texas.
immediately.
Donald Trump has won the
And
state
I
of
listened
Texas.
for 3 months as these
meaning
crooked
you won
people
by
back
so
there
much
were saying
that
how
they
close this
called
was
it-
going to be.
And this was true with other states, too. This was true with other states, too.
As it says, Sue.
The fake news. And of course, Lisa Murkowski sided with the radical Democrats in the second impeachment hoax, and she voted to sham. And now think of this one. She voted for the Unselect Committee. Do you like
she
that?
voted for
Unselect
sham.
Committee?
She voted to sham.
These are the
I'm
same
like,
people that
she
gave
voted
you
to sham?
the impeachment hoax number
Wow.
one. The impeachment hoax number
That's
two.
where that comes from.
The Mueller bullshit.
There's the bullshit.
Although after 2 years, they did come out with a conclusion. Think of this. 18 Trump haters. And they came out with a conclusion, right? No collusion.
They
So
didn't
the
say that.
conclusion
They
was
never
no
investigated collusion.
Get Biden to say that, okay? Without notes, you know. We're not reading this speech. We're not doing a lot of reading here. Because, you know, when you read it, it gets a little bit stale, doesn't it? Now, think of it. No collusion after 2 years, but she voted, she was all for him, but she voted to impeach me. And I did more for this state than any president in history. And that piece of voted to impeach me. I mean, not only Anwar, I got you the railroad, I got you Cove Road, or whatever the hell they call it. For 50 years, they've been trying to get the highway, right? I got that. I got all the approvals. Probably they're going to try and disapprove it as quickly as possible. I got you the timber cutting, everything. I've done more for Alaska than any president by far. By far.
Okay, well, Biden took Anwar away,
And
so he
Murkowski's
didn't really
a
get
bad
them
person,
Anwar.
And Dan Sullivan should never, ever have given her an endorsement. Dan Sullivan should be ashamed of himself.
I'm sure he's not.
Murkowski's opponent, Kelly Tshibaka, is a true America First patriot who will never stab Alaska voters in the back. Alaska, you're going to be in good shape with Kelly. And by the way, she's been running for a long time. She has run. I've never seen anybody run so hard, and we're proud of her. She's great. As your state's commissioner of administration, you know, she spent a lot of time in government and did everything I heard was phenomenal because, you know, taking on a sitting person, a sitting senator, governor, whatever, it's always tough. It's a very tough thing to do. You're taking on the establishment, you're taking on all the rhinos, you're taking on a lot of people that don't have the country's best will in some cases, not in all cases, but So I had to go and really do a lot of research, but you wanted it so badly, and I did. And I heard the best things I think I've ever heard about a candidate. And Kelly fought tirelessly for Alaska taxpayers to stop corruption, fraud, and abuse.
I watched Kelly
and as your
this
senator, she
today
will defend Alaska
with her speech.
energy workers,
Just
the energy
lie
workers,
after
and
lie
I'll
after
look
lie
like
after
but
lie.
We'll get him back someday.
The worst of Trump. That's who
She'll
Kelly
stand up for
Chewbacca
Alaska
is.
jobs. She'll protect the Second Amendment and innocent life. She will oppose radical left judges, and she will support the men and women of law enforcement, ICE, and the Border Patrol.
Unless they're the Capitol
please
Hill
come
Police.
up. Kelly.
Here she is. I think her whole thing was time for a change. More evidence that lawyers are not all smart.
Alaska, let's show President Trump how much we love him.
Wow, 3,000 people. What is with the bots today? Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, are you going to say something, or? This is boring. Oh, she's used to jerking off really tall guys. That's what she's doing now. Her husband must be, like, really tall. Or maybe she's on her knees usually. I don't know. Maybe he's standing on the bed. She's lying. I don't know. I hope my kids aren't watching. She's still doing it. Her husband lasts a while.
Remember, under President Trump, we weren't just energy independent, we were energy dominant.
We were not. Not a thing.
He is absolutely right that he is the one who gave us ANWR, and no other president in the history of our nation was able to do that. Thank you, President Trump.
Okay, but then ANWR's gone now, so moving on.
President Trump unleashed the power of our resource industries. He opened up the Tongass National Forest for us. He gave us the road to Ambler Mine. This is good for our workers. This is good for our economy. President Trump rebuilt our military, and what he left out, but we need to remember, it was after Obama and Biden decimated it. Thank you, President Trump.
I don't know that they decimated it, but...
President Trump does not bend a knee to bullies or bureaucrats or Biden.
But and other things that start with B. Why would anyone bend a knee to Biden?
We can't say the same thing about Senator Murkowski.
Senator Murkowski does not bend a knee to Biden.
Guess what, President Trump?
She's attacking
Biden's CEO.
She might as well be a Democrat.
She's his chief enabling officer. Anything Joe Biden wants done, Lisa Murkowski delivers it.
That is not true.
Yep.
Nope. Not even close.
Joe Biden wants gun control, Lisa Murkowski votes for it. Joe Biden wants to kill our oil and gas industry.
Bipartisan bill.
Lisa Murkowski puts the radical environmentalists in place who are going to execute that agenda.
Okay, well then the Supreme Court nullified all of that anyway.
But President Trump and I have made clear that for us, it's always about America first.
Oh, he likes that. He likes it because he came up with that
and
phrase.
Simply
He's
put,
very happy.
That's why we love you.
Oh, he gets a hug. Oh, and a kiss. Yeah. Little pinch, maybe. Puts the mic right back at the same level. Yeah, she's running against Murkowski.
You, Kelly.
It's a ranked system
She's
in
gonna
Alaska.
Be fantastic.
So the way that it works in the primaries in Alaska is the top 4 candidates, regardless of party, get to go to the November election. And then in November, you rank your candidates 1, 2, 3, or 4. And number 2 can actually be number 1 if enough people go number 2, and number 1 gets a bunch of 3s or 4s or nothings. So you get points awarded based on your finish. It's interesting.
They had something that would have been unbelievable. They didn't appreciate it. And but there's nobody like this woman. I've known her so long. She's loyal. She loves the state. She will be a true warrior for your state and for the country.
It's like voting for the
Sarah
MVP
Palin.
in baseball or hockey. Oh, here comes Sarah Palin. Let's record this. There's always gold in them thar hills.
Sir,
How's
we
that
need
hope
you
and
back.
Kachangi
4
going
more
now?
Years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Yeah, it's a little late for that now.
And President Trump, you are home. This is home.
Welcome
love
to stay
you.
there. Welcome to stay there.
A lot of people ask me, how did you know that President Trump, that Donald J. Trump was going to be the best president that we'd ever had? How did you think to get out there and endorse him early when, gosh, there was a lot of party pressure on
Gosh.
me and others to endorse, established candidates and all that.
Yeah.
And I knew, well, personally speaking,
Yeah.
for
Uh-huh.
years, Donald Trump watched what the fake media, the fake news, the mainstream media put my kids through, okay?
Oh, yeah, you
this?
betcha.
The things that you guys did to my kids. Donald Trump, he would write me a note and he would say, hang in there. The people who know you, they love you. They know the truth about your family, sitting right over there. God bless you. Hi, Trig. And I
Is
knew
Trig the
that
one
this
that beat up
man
his wife?
cared about family. He
Or the one
cared
who had an
about
abortion?
A culture of
Which
life
one?
and a culture of love.
Uh-huh.
And I knew way back when that if he ever did run for the highest office in the land, the most powerful position in the world, Donald Trump, he would do what he campaigned on.
God, I
doing,
wish
and isn't
that
rare? He
McCain got
actually
elected and then
fulfilled his
passed on,
promises.
and that we had her as president for a
That's why
couple of
he's
years.
not a politician.
It would have been so entertaining.
He would once in a while jot a
Is
note
Trig the
down
baby?
saying, hang in there.
I don't know.
And, ignore what they're saying. He always knew it was about the kids because I am a mama grizzly and I'll rear up
Yeah,
on
that's
my
true. Her
hind
daughter
legs
was
when
on Dancing
somebody
with the
comes after
Stars,
my
right, dog
cubs.
mother?
He knew that, so that really struck me, my heart. And that's when I first just totally respected the man. But then along comes crooked Hillary, thinking she's gonna get into the White House.
What? Trump ladies like this in the background.
And
The 44
I
lady?
knew out of all the candidates
I think
who
she's
were
a
running,
Democrat.
the established politicians, there was only one who wasn't a politician, thank the Lord. That was Donald Trump. And I knew, out of all of them, I knew them all. He was the only one who had the balls to take on the fake media, fake news, Hillary Clinton. And he did it for you.
Ow!
He did it.
Ow!
That's
You're
why I love
hurting
him.
me! What a piece of ass. Did you guys see that? Isn't she a fantastic piece of ass?
Wow. Thank you both. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Kelly. We really appreciate it. Appreciate what you have to go through. Once again, the primary is August 16th, and MAGA conservatives need to turn out in massive numbers to defeat the rhinos. The endorsements meant so much to so many people. We have so many victories. It's incredible.
He's like, I'm
And
getting
Al,
bored
thank
with
you
this. We're
very
going to
much for
zoom
your
through
help.
this
We
now.
appreciate
Please
it so
do.
much.
We're done with the stories.
Illinois,
Let's
where
move.
Mary Miller just won, and that was another one that people.
I
said,
want to
"Oh,
watch
that
the
won't
episode of The
happen."
Boys that came
And
out
she's gonna be
yesterday. So let's go.
fantastic.
Let's go
So
here.
Everybody get out and vote for Sarah and Kelly. And we're pleased to be joined as well by Anchorage Mayor David Bronson.
He doesn't have to come up, does he? All right.
Wow, they like you, David. You never know when you do this. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. You understand? They like you a lot, David. That's great. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Alaska GOP Chairwoman Ann Brown. Thank you.
No, the
you,
little
Ann.
kid fell asleep a long time ago. I said 6:23. It's 6:38. The kid's got to be dead
Somebody
asleep
that's
by now.
been with me for 6 years, and think of it, 6 years, does everyone know Jerry Ward? Campaign in Alaska, it's Trump Alaska, and he's been doing it for 6 years, and all I know is we win by a lot, so he's got to be doing a good job. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. And a friend of mine and a great guy, I know you heard him speak before. I heard him.
And
was
there's no
fantastic.
SNL this
Mike
week,
Lindell.
sadly.
Thank you, Mike.
SNL's off for the summer. Because
Great.
they're lazy.
Thanks, Mike. A big star, Captain Russell Wildcat Newberry from Deadliest Catch. We all
He
know
could
him.
sell paint to Michelangelo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wildcat.
That's what I heard.
Thank you very much. And Captain Dino Sutherland from National Geographic's Alaska
What?
Fish Wars. National Geographic.
Oh, National Geographic.
That's great.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Dino. Great job. Thank you. Over 4 incredible years, and I have been fighting for a long time. I fought for the hardworking people of Alaska like no president in history has ever done. We passed legislation opening the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge,
For drilling.
known as ANWR, for American Energy Exploration and Development, which means jobs, 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 and it means industry and
Jobs,
revenue for the
jobs.
people of Alaska. And as I said, it may be
jobs.
the biggest site anywhere in the world for energy, maybe
It's
the
not.
biggest. And in one day, because of Murkowski, it was gone.
You know who's got the biggest reserves? Venezuela.
We're going to get it back for you. I'm telling you, we're going to get it back, and it won't be hard the second day. All because of Murkowski. We also issued the first ever leases for oil and gas production in the region. Never happened. Unfortunately, the Biden administration canceled those leases. Do you believe
I don't know what's
recently?
happening down here.
Here we are. We need energy. We need oil. We need gas. And they canceled the leases.
Oh, it's gone
They
now.
waged a war on Alaska
Oh, well.
energy workers. I don't know how the hell you could vote for a Democrat. I really don't. And now our entire country is paying a very steep price, not only at the pump, all over. And as our great fishermen will tell you, the soaring cost of fuel is a disaster for Alaska fishers, risking putting them virtually out of business. The two guys know, but we have a lot of fishermen here. We have a lot
But they're
of
still in business.
people that do it. It's a tough job, a great job in many ways.
Not
I wouldn't
that.
change
Hold on.
it for anything else.
There we go.
We appreciate it. But the cost of fuel and insurance and everything else has gone so high they've never seen. Not even thinkable. If somebody would have said 2 years ago this could have happened, it could never have happened. Under my administration, we also
What?
issued a presidential permit for the A2A
But-
railroad between
Yeah,
Canada
like-
and Alaska.
You literally said 2 years ago that the cost of fuel was going to skyrocket. So if someone had said that 2 years ago and it never could have happened, that was you.
Trying to get that one done for many, many years. We authorized the crucial mining service road to facilitate development in Northwest Alaska Ambler Mining District. We approved permits for the Alaska Liquefied Natural Gas Pipeline Project. We invested in rural broadband access and vastly expanded telehealth services all over Alaska, especially in rural Alaska where you need it.
Where you might be a
I signed an
juror.
executive order to elevate the tragic issue of missing and murdered Native Americans, a big issue. A big, big issue. We gave your state a critical exemption from damaging restrictions against road constructions and timber harvest. You know what that's all about? Everybody said, oh, you can't do it. We did it in about 2 minutes, which now Biden has incredibly just reversed. He just took it away, all those jobs.
Well, you shouldn't have lost
We
your
stopped
election.
the Obama-era regulatory assaults on hunting, trapping, fishing gear, and ammunition, and I stood up for our hunters, our fishers, our sportsmen, our outdoorsmen, like no administration, they say, since Teddy Roosevelt, and maybe better. Maybe better. When we win in November,
Teddy Roosevelt.
Kelly and Sarah, Republicans will fight, and we will win like never before for Alaska. We are going to do it again.
Like
Some
never
of the
before.
things that we approved
Alaska's
have
been Republican for decades.
put by the wayside by the Obama administration and the woman and the people that Murkowski approved. It's not even believable. One of the first things we will do is stand up for parents' rights.
By doing what? Charter schools that you promised in 2016?
It's time to finally and completely smash the radical left's corrupt education cartel. It's
What?
crazy what's going on. Our children are
Education cartel?
captives to unhinged Marxist educators. Where do they come from? Who are
America?
pushing inappropriate sexual, racial, and political material on our children from the youngest possible age. The public school system has become an arm of the radical left, and we are not going to allow this to happen.
Hey, pull your
We're
kids
not
out,
going to. We
homeschool them,
stopped
baby.
it. You know, we
Didn't you
had-
just spend the last 2 years
we
complaining
stopped-
that your kids
through
had to be
executive order,
homeschooled?
we stopped it, and many of those executive orders have been ended. At
Pull 'em
long
out.
last, every parent
Get 'em
in
out of the public
America
schools.
must be empowered to opt out of this indoctrination and send their child to the public, private, charter, religious, or home school of their choice. Choice. We want choice.
Choice.
In addition, we will get
Except for
critical race
abortion.
theory out of our schools, out of our military, and out of every part of our
He
federal,
promised
state, and local
school choice
government.
in 2016. That was part of his campaign. All the rallies. School choice. That's what he was going to do as
Sometimes I'll have
president.
people in certain things say like, well, but sir, why didn't you do it? I said, I did. It was all done. In the military, all done. Everybody fired, everybody gone. They came back in. They ended it immediately. And now we're back to the same old stuff. It's unbelievable. We will also keep men out of women's sports. Right? The swimmer, the young swimmer, she wanted to break that record. 1/16 of a second, she was going to do it. And she
Not
looked over
accurate.
and she said hello to people that she's grown up with. She's seen them. She's a top swimmer. She looks left and she sees them. Hi. You know, they hate each other, but they're competing. Hi. They hate her.
I don't know. I missed it,
She
dog
hates
mother.
them. That's the way life goes, right? Then she looks over, waves, and then she sees
It's at the
this,
7:30 mark.
guy. They say, I mean, this is supposed to be a technically correct term, a person with a man's body, okay? It's a man's body. So they see this person with a man's body, and he's a giant. He's a big guy, wingspan. So Mike, he broke the record by 38 seconds,
Nope.
and she was injured by windburn as he went by her. But the better is the weightlifter, right? I don't know if it's 218 pounds, some large number of pounds.
He loves this story.
This woman was so strong, and she was going to lift it. She was going to lift that weight over her face. She was going to break the record. And they added like a quarter of an ounce here, a quarter. She was going to break the record. They got Chase up there. She didn't make it. Boom. This guy comes over, right? Bing. Have you lifted before? No, not really.
The trans swimmer won the race by 1.75 seconds, not 32 or 38, as he says.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. People think it's politically incorrect. They think it's politically incorrect to talk about it. I don't. Somebody has to do it. No teacher should ever be allowed to teach transgender to our children.
What?
without parental consent.
Yeah. Dumb.
When Republicans retake Congress, they also need to crack down, and they will, and they'll crack down hard on big farmers for giving puberty blockers and other dangerous drugs to mutilate our youth. Think of it, puberty
Drugs.
You have a kid go to school, puberty blockers. We will save our kids, and every federal bureaucrat who is complicit in this travesty needs to immediately be fired at least.
At least fired. Otherwise,
Another
jailed,
one of our highest
possibly
priorities
killed.
under a Republican Congress
At
will be
least
to stop
fired.
left-wing censorship and to restore free speech in America. And go out, by the way, while I'm here, and sign up now for Truth Social. It's hot as a pistol, and you see that. I call that one right. Leon's, I tell you what, Elon is not going to buy Twitter. Where did you hear that before? From me. From a fake account. She says fake. A lot of them. Nah, he's got himself a mess. You know, he said the other day, oh, I've never voted for a Republican. I said, I didn't know that. He told me he voted for me. So he's another bullshit artist, but he's not going to be buying it. He's not going to be buying it. Although he might later. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? He's got a pretty rotten contract. I looked at his contract. Not a good contract. But he's not. Sign up for Truth. We love the truth. And it's doing good. The radical left Democrat Party is not a 50% party within our country. They're against God. They're against oil. They're against guns. They're against law enforcement. They're against voter ID. Who's against voter ID? There's only one reason you can be against voter ID, because you want to cheat. There's no other reason. They're against tax cuts, regulation cuts. They're against the Constitution. They hate the Constitution, and they hate our founding fathers. Other than that, they're quite nice. I really like them both.
Guys, I'm
The
sorry.
way
I've
they
tuned out of
win
Trump. I'm watching Twitter
With all
now.
these policies, how
Sorry,
can they win? I
I'm
always
here.
say they're not 50-50. They cheat.
By the way,
in
YouTube,
elections. That's
I
what
don't
really
endorse
believe.
what Trump is saying.
Somebody
There you
would
go.
say, what a horrible thing to say about our republic. Let me tell you, they cheat in elections. And you
They
got
don't.
it stacked up.
The-
And again,
the
thank
last
you.
election was
Thank
not
you very
rigged
much.
or
Again,
stolen.
I have to say it to the Supreme Court of Wisconsin, because they finally, a court
In a 5-4
is
decision,
finally
they
willing
determined
to do
that
something
some drop boxes cannot be utilized
and
moving forward.
say it like it is. That's why we must pass critical election integrity reforms, including universal voter ID.
Okay, so you're talking about
citizenship
federalizing
confirmation.
elections.
Can you believe it? We don't want citizenship confirmation. Oh, really? They don't want citizenship. What's that all about? You don't have to be a citizen to vote. No more fake drop boxes. Thank you, Wisconsin. No private money pouring into
Now
local
she's doing a
election
1-3.
offices. No ranked choice, Kelly. No ranked choice voting, which can be crooked as hell. Kelly Shabaka. Kelly Shabaka.
Everyone loves a
Ladies
Wookiee.
and gentlemen, we have a big development election evening. Kelly Shabaka is number one, but the winner will be the one who's in third place. So thank you.
It's not how it works. That's not how
Please
ranking works
explain that.
at all. I wouldn't expect
No,
him
we
to
don't want that
understand
to
it.
happen, Sarah Palin.
It-
We don't want
not
it to happen. We don't
point
like
one
it.
of it.
We're stuck with it. You know why? Because
Yeah.
of Murkowski. It's the only way she could win. It's the only way she can win. And ultimately, we need same-day voting with only
Murkowski
paper
did not
ballots. That's
create
what
the
it's all
system.
about.
The legislature of Alaska creates the systems.
What they should have. France, big country, just had an election. I think it was 38, 39 million people voted. Paper ballots, same-day voting. It ended at like 11 o'clock. They announced the winner. The loser went home, bye-bye. The winner said, boy, it was closer than I thought. But there were no questions.
No, they did. No,
Same-day
Macron
voting.
didn't say it was closer than he thought.
Same-day voting. Paper
It's not.
ballots.
That's not how it works.
The only exception is if you're military far away, or if you're really sick. Not sick like they were in Wisconsin, where they're down at Miami Beach, saying, I'm very sick, I can't do it, I'm on the beach. We're just 4 months away from the most important midterm election in American history, and we need a landslide so big that the radical left cannot rig or steal this election.
Can't you guys figure out how not to have the election stolen? I mean, you were in charge.
This is the year
For
we're
4
going
years.
to take back the House. We're going to take back the Senate, and we're going to take back America. And in 2024, most importantly, we are going to take back our magnificent White House. We're going to take it.
Are you running, sir? Because if you're running, you're going to have to change the way you collect money. Oh, am I kidding? He doesn't care about the FEC. Yeah, the little kid's gone. Oh, wait! Oh, just as I was saying it!
For Kelly and
Little guy's
Sarah in the
back.
primary. So get your friends, get your family, and get out and vote. Gotta do it.
Oh, wait. There he
Together
is.
we will fight for more jobs for American families, fair trade
There.
for American workers.
Get this guy out of the way.
USMCA. Remember, they said after the worst deal ever made in the history of trade, and we had it. In fact, Mexico and Canada, as you probably heard, they want to renegotiate the deal, just like they want to renegotiate the price of Air Force One Boeing because they said the deal that Trump made, we're losing our shirt. That's something nice about that, isn't it? Can you imagine? They want to renegotiate
An American
the price
company
of
losing their
cheapest
shirt.
people
Yeah,
worldwide.
that's great.
They're going to lose
Because America
$600 billion.
first.
And more American factories forging more products stamped with that beautiful, beautiful phrase, made in the USA.
America.
We will show.
Potential factories or future starts of factories up 1,000% under Biden. 1,000%. Go.
ICE and Border Patrol, incredible people. We will again end catch and release. We will end chain migration. We will end the visa lottery.
Could have done
and
that.
we will clamp down on illegal
Could have done.
immigration.
You were
just like
president
we did
for
less
4
than 2
years.
years ago.
You had the House and the Senate for 2 of those. You didn't end any of it.
How about I got
You
through very
couldn't
good
even end
negotiations.
DACA, which was a made-up
They gotta
program
remain in
by
Mexico.
Obama.
They have to remain in Mexico, the killers and everybody else that wants to come in. And Biden ended it.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court said, yeah,
He
that's not a
ended it.
problem.
So now they can remain in the United States and never have to leave. We will stop
No,
the
that's not
crime
true.
wave in Democrat-run cities. We will give our police the power they need and the respect they deserve and let them do their job the way only they know how to do it. And
Unless
we will
it's
not
keeping us
take
out of the Capitol.
legal protection away from our police. We will restore law and order in America. We will hold China accountable for unleashing the most vicious virus that anybody's ever seen upon the world. We will protect innocent life. We will defend our Constitution. We will defend the Second Amendment, which is under siege, and we will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian values and principles of our nation's founding. We will restore patriotic education to our schools, and we will teach our children to love their country, honor our history, and always, always, always respect our great American flag. Nice. Nice shirt.
Oh, he's got the flag on his shirt. That's respect. All right, are we done? In
I love this
conclusion,
guy's shirt, I tell you.
yeah, we will make
I'd love to have you
America.
Get up here. Come on, get up here. Let me see. Get up here.
All right, he's going to bring
Get
the
this
shirt up
guy
on stage.
Come here.
Okay,
I
good.
love this
I
guy.
thought
Any
we
guy
were
wears
done.
a shirt like that, how can you not love him? Look at
Just
that
when you,
beautiful-
I think I'm out,
Will
you pull me
help him
back
up?
in.
Taylor, help him up. Come on, you're a strong guy. Come here. I just
Come
want
on.
to show it.
Can we
I
just-
love this shirt.
Can we just get him up on
I
stage?
want
It's going
one
to
of
take an
those
hour.
shirts. I like that one.
This is Charles Manson's grandson,
I want
by the
this
way.
shirt.
You'll see
I'm
him in
gonna
a
wear it to
second
the
here.
next rally.
Okay. Does it say FJB? Wow, this is a. Are they giving him a pat down? I think they're giving him maybe a pat down. No, getting him a. I was going over the rails. That's what it is. By the way, everybody who goes in there goes through a magnometer. A metal detector. There we go. There's the shirt. Oh, and his wife or girlfriend or sister, possibly all three. She has one too. That's got to be his mom. Thank you. Get out. Okay, thank you.
Shirt.
Great. Thank you. Get out.
I want
Go.
both of them. Take those shirts off and give them to me right now. In conclusion,
Please don't take your shirt off, ma'am.
Make America Great Again
Yeah.
is by far the greatest political movement in the history of our country.
Okay.
You know, we've had some movements. We've never had one like this.
Oh, I've had some movements.
You know, you've had movements where a politician like came in second in Iowa and he became very famous, came in third in New Hampshire, became very famous for the rest of his life. We won all of them. We won all of them. We won
He
every
lost
one of them.
Nobody's
Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
He
We won
lost
every one of them,
Iowa
all 50
because he
plus the
didn't go
islands.
to
You
the
don't know about
debate.
The islands, but the islands too.
Wow.
There's never been a movement, and then
Wow.
we won the election twice.
Once.
We won it twice.
Once.
We may have to do it again. Together, we're standing up against some of the most menacing forces, entrenched interests, and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. The way they throw around the word impeachment, the way they go after people that are innocent people, political people, and yet they leave killers on the street to shoot people. Despite great outside dangers, our biggest threat remains the sick, sinister, and evil people from within our country. But no matter how big or powerful
That's what it
these
is.
corrupt radicals
The biggest
may be,
threat to America
you
is the
must never
sick
forget
Democrats.
This nation does not
That's what
belong
he's saying.
to them. This nation
Oh, and the rhinos are
belongs
even worse.
to
This is
you.
what he says.
Belongs to you.
Well, it belongs to everybody. That's the beauty of America. This is
This
all
is your
just
home.
fundraising.
This is your heritage. And our American liberty is your God-given right. Remember that. They want to take that away. From Anchorage
Your
to
freedom of choice.
Fairbanks and Wasilla to Juneau.
Whistler?
From the slopes of Denali to the waters of Glacier Bay. That's a beautiful place.
Okay.
And from the forests of the interior to the majestic vistas of the Inside Passage. Does anybody know the Inside Passage?
Okay, yeah.
Anybody want to go there tonight? What a beautiful name, the Inside.
Whistler.
Let's go to the Inside Passage tonight, right?
He doesn't. No one bothers to go over the pronunciation before
By the
he
way,
does these. Yeah.
Is there anything that's more fun
Than a Trump rally. I think those shirts are more fun than a Trump rally, personally. Oh, hey, thank you. Someone just sent me some monies
This
on the
state was
PayPal. Oh,
formed
thank you,
by
Marcy.
some of the very toughest men and some of the very strongest women ever to walk the face of the earth. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of luxury, but they had grit, they had faith, and they had each other, very importantly.
And I've got Marcy.
They were frontiers.
And if you want to send me some money for doing this type of thing, you're welcome to as well. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo.
And they poured out their heart and their sweat and their soul.
Why aren't you
to make
done?
America into
Not
the
you
greatest
guys.
nation
Why, Trump, why are you
in
not
the history
done?
of the world. But now we are a nation in decline.
Yeah.
We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in over 40 years, where the stock market just finished the worst first half of a year in more than 5 decades. Likewise, we are a nation that has the highest energy cost in its history, and we are no longer energy independent or energy
We actually are.
dependent,
Under their
which
standards,
we were just
we were energy independent in
short
2020,
years ago.
during COVID,
We
and
are
then
a
even
nation
after
that is
COVID, under
begging
Biden in
Venezuela,
2021,
Saudi
we were
Arabia
again
for oil.
energy independent,
Please,
and that we were
please
exporting
give
more
us
than we
oil.
were importing. And we
We
likely
have
are
more
again.
liquid gold under our feet than any other nation in the world.
It's not true.
We're begging them for
We are like
We are
11th
a
in terms of
nation
oil
that
reserves.
surrendered in Afghanistan,
We're way down the
leaving
list.
behind dead soldiers and American citizens and $85
When are we
billion
leaving behind dead
worth
soldiers?
of the finest military equipment in the world.
What is he talking
We are a
about?
nation that allowed Russia
When
to
are we leaving
devastate a
behind dead
country,
soldiers?
Ukraine, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. And it never
Uh-oh.
would have happened if the election were different. It would have never happened. It didn't happen.
What was
All
the
of those people that are now dead and all of those cities that are now crushed, nothing would have happened. We could have made a deal, but we didn't even have to make a deal.
Hundreds
Nothing
of
would have
thousands?
happened. It would have never happened. I believe he saw what happened in Afghanistan, and he said, these people don't know what they're doing. This is our chance. I really believe that.
Oh, that's
It never
Putin.
would have happened. Putin would have never done it. All of that human life and that culture in those cities. We're a nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against the opposing political party like never before. We've never seen anything like this. We're a nation that no longer has a free and fair press. Fake news is about all you get. And they are the true enemy of the people. We are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed, where crime is rampant like never before, where the economy has been collapsing, where more people died of COVID in 2021 than in 2020. We are a nation that is allowing Iran to
a longer
build a
year and
massive
more
nuclear
virulent
weapon.
strains.
It would have never happened. They would have made a deal in the first week. And China to use the trillions and trillions of dollars it's taken from the United States to build a military to rival our own.
That was happening
Perhaps
during your
most
term.
importantly, we are a nation that over the past 2 years is no longer respected or listened to all around the world. They don't respect us.
Dude,
We are a
2
nation
more
that in
countries
many
just
ways
joined
has become a
NATO.
joke. And we are a nation that is hostile to liberty and
Erdogan
freedom
dropped
of
his
faith.
objection to
We're a
Finland and
nation whose
Sweden.
economy is
Why?
floundering,
Because
whose
Joe
stores
Biden
are
called him.
not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming, and whose educational system is ranked at the bottom of every list. But we
What?
are not going to let this continue. 2 years ago, we had the greatest, and I mean like never before, economy and the greatest country.
Not
we
true.
were doing so well. Everybody, African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, women,
Unemployment-wise,
men,
yeah.
high school diploma. People with no diploma from high school, people with PhDs from MIT and Harvard and the Wharton School of Finance and all of these great schools, everybody was doing well. Women, especially women, doing well, everybody. But soon we will have greatness again. It
We're
was
at
hardworking
3.6%
patriots
unemployment.
like you who built this country, and it is hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. We will stand up to the radical left lunatics and the rhinos, and we will fight for America like no one has ever fought before. Get rid of Lisa Murkowski. Get rid of Lisa Murkowski.
No one's ever asked me to turn Trump
There is no
up
mountain we
before,
cannot
Stephanie.
climb.
Yeah,
There is
here we
no
go.
summit we cannot reach.
Yeah.
There is no challenge we cannot meet. There is no victory we cannot have.
All right.
We will not bend.
We will not
We
break.
will not break.
Yeah.
We will not yield.
Yeah.
Ever, ever, ever. Kelly.
Ever, ever. That was my
Sarah,
drinking word originally.
They will never.
Okay,
ever
wrap it up. We will
do
make
that.
America.
We will never give in. We will
Yeah.
never give up.
Right,
and we
right.
will never, ever back down.
Yeah.
We will never let you down as long
Okay.
as we are confident and united. The
We
tyrants
will
we are fighting do
make-
not stand even a little chance.
All right.
Because we are Americans, and Americans kneel to God and God alone, my fellow citizens. This incredible journey we are on together has only just begun, and it is time to start talking about greatness for our country, greatness again. We don't talk about greatness anymore. We talk about problems. We talk about crime. We talk about taking power away from our police. We talk about a woke military. Do you believe this? We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious American nation. So with the help of everyone here today and the citizens all across our land, we will make America powerful.
Powerful again. Right. Okay. Well, strong, wealthy.
We will make America wealthy again.
Yep. What about strong or safe? Which one are you going to go with?
We will make America strong again. So
okay, but what about safe? Let's hit safe.
We will make America proud.
Proud
again.
I'm waiting for safe. And then
we will make America safe
again, right? And then we will make bring it home.
And we will make America great again.
We're already
Thank you
great.
very much, Alaska. Thank you. Thank you, Alaska. Thank
What's
you.
your
God
song?
bless you all.
Dun, 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 dun. Well, I'm happy with there were a couple of news stories in there, and there's nothing that I like to see better at a Trump rally than a little ka-changes here and there. Doesn't have to be anything major, just a little ka-change on this side, a little ka-change here, something new, something fun, something radical. I like to see all of that. All right, everybody. That has been already too long of a broadcast. That's 3 hours out of my Saturday night. Thank you very much to Marcy for noticing that and sending some Venmo or PayPal or whatever she sent. If you'd like to contribute something besides advertisements for naked girls, wow, you guys are good. You guys have already hidden that by the time it appears in the chat. I wish there was a way that it could not... You guys hide it, and it populates up on this chat window over here with the naked peoples, even before we get a chance to... Anyway, I wish there was something we do. We could not. We will not. Until next time, do not mention anything about the tennis finals to me tomorrow, because I'm going to try and watch that without it being ruined. And I hope you guys have a great night. Now, I think I will go watch the final episode of The Boys with my daughter, which is him standing in front of that flag as he exits, Trump standing in front of the flag, very Homelander-esque. If you haven't watched The Boys on Amazon Prime, I would recommend that. If you can't take gruesome stuff, stay away. But if that doesn't bother you, absolutely watch The Boys. It's a fantastic series. And has anyone known of Pac-Man's daughter's name? No, I have no idea. Good to see you again. Sorry again. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I've moved on, Gallon of Stew. I appreciate it, though. Do not tell me anything tomorrow. I do not want the final going to be ruined. The final is going to be Novak Djokovic, the world number 1, against unranked Australian Nick Kyrgios, who is so entertaining, and I really hope he wins, because Novak's Djokovic is the guy who Australia kicked out because he refuses to get vaccinated, so I'm happy to see him lose. Djokovic is maybe the best tennis player in the world. Some people think that, at least on grass, he's won Wimbledon a ton of times, 8, 9, 10 times, something ridiculous. It's on grass. Wimbledon's on grass. French Open is on clay. Australian and U.S. Open are on concrete, regular tennis courts, what you would see in your neighborhood. But anyway, it's on grass for some reason. I guess the people of England haven't figured out that concrete exists. So that's coming up tomorrow morning at like 9 a.m. Eastern time. If you want to watch some tennis, it'll be on ESPN. So I'm going to watch that tomorrow. Here's the cool thing. Even though Novak is the number 1 player in the world, he has played against Kyrgios twice and has never even won a set off of Kyrgios. In tennis, you play a game, and 6 games is a set if you win 6 games, and then 2 or 3 sets, depending on the tournament, that's a win. So they've played 4 sets against each other, and Novak hasn't won a single set against Kyrgios. So I'm curious to see what happens. So don't ruin it for me. Guys, be good to yourself. A tennis game in a garden. That is exactly what Wimbledon is. Thank you, babe. Be good to each other. And most importantly, don't spoil sports scores. Have a great night, everybody.